March 2023, a group of researchers formed the Truth Mafia, a collective determined to investigate conspiracies and occult mysteries that have been buried for centuries. With a passion for uncovering the truth, they delve into the darkest corners of history, pop culture, and ancient mysteries, seeking answers to questions that have plagued humanity for ages. The Truth Mafia is led by Tommy Truthful, a man shrouded in mystery and intrigue, dedicated to uncovering the hidden truths behind some of the world's most perplexing and enigmatic phenomena. Their research has led them down countless rabbit holes, from deciphering ancient symbols to exploring the hidden meanings behind popular media and literature. Despite the risks and challenges they face, the Truth Mafia remains steadfast in their quest for knowledge. Will their investigations lead to groundbreaking revelations, or will they unravel an even deeper web of secrets and lies? Only time will tell in this ongoing saga of conspiracy and intrigue.
Welcome to another episode of the Truth Mafia podcast. And we got an amazing episode for you guys today. We're going to get into the Illuminati Blood Contracts, the Faustian Bargain. Before we get going, this is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. And all the links are down in the description. Our guest links, they're all down in the description. All my links, if you want to get your personal decode and find out your role in this simulation we call life, I do the email decodes, and that link is down below as well. That's on my truthfultv.com website, because we got truthmafia.com. That's where all the content creators are, like our boy B. Dell, Donut Factory, the different members of the Truth Mafia. And then truthfultv.com is my personal website. And you can opt in for our daily newsletter over on truthmafia.com. That way you get notifications and updates whenever we drop lives and projects like this. And today's podcast is brought to you from Body Align and the Energy Wellness Products. This band right here, you put it on, it has Shugnite, the Torlamine, all ground up in the band, which helps eliminate the effects of the 5G and EMF that we're being hit with. And use promo code Truth Mafia. It also has a hologram on the back of it, which binds certain frequencies and energies to it. So it's a really amazing product, and they're nice enough to sponsor our podcast. They also have a disc that goes on the back of your phone. The radiation, it's really affecting people in many different ways. People are saying it's disrupting their sleep, their anxiety, causing nauseousness, headache-ness, tiredness, fatigue, brain fog, all kinds of different things. So let's get into it. Now, if you're new here and this is your first episode, in the movie The Matrix, there are several people who wake up from the system. They learn to read the hidden code of green letters and numbers of the Matrix. This is not just a movie. We too have a hidden code behind everything, and it's known as Gematria. So we might be touching on a little Gematria as well today. That's what I focus on. My guest, he's going to break down for us some of these Illuminati contracts and blood offerings that are going on in the industry, like the music industry, the entertainment industry, these deals with the devil they're making. I got a video I'm going to play of his, and without further ado, my brother from another mother, Faise One. What up, bro?
Robert. Peace.
How you doing today, man? We're just blessed to have you here.
I'm doing the best I can. How are you?
I'm good, man. Excited for this one. What really, me and you've been cool for a long time now, bro. And I'm a huge fan of your music. You do amazing work. I think you're one of the best artists out here for real, as far as it goes with music for real, bro. And that's what really caught my eye with you at first. I heard one of your songs and I'm like, damn, who is this guy? And so, it was Source. Remember the one you did, Source?
I do.
And you were spitting in Arabic, and I'm like, oh, man, this shit right here. It just, bro, I still listen to that, no joke, every morning.
Wow.
There's two songs I listen to, and one's not even rap, it's country. It's Oliver E. I've never been in the country, but his song moves me too. And
Right.
so I'll listen to your source and then Oliver Anthony, and them two get me pumped for my day.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to hear that.
Yeah, I love that one, brother. And you've been putting out some bangers left and right. Now, could you tell the people where they could check out your music? Because you got it really, your music's like stuff I've never heard. It's really got that truth seeker message. What most people, they don't put a message in their music no more.
Right.
So where could people check you out to hear some of your stuff?
Well, you can check it out pretty much all over with Faise One, Faise space ONE. Faise One. It should be on YouTube. You got the videos and the album experiences where you can listen to the album all the way through. Spotify, Apple Music. It's pretty much everywhere. You know what I mean? But yeah, and also I post little clips, sometimes that music that never really gets released. I post snippets of that on my Instagram at Faise One, FAISEONE with 2 underscores. So you can lock in on any of those platforms.
Yeah, and dude said, "Wow, that's really Faise One." Yeah, it's the real him. It's not
In the flesh.
It's not an AI generated one. It's the real guy. But so this is the video I was watching on your Instagram that made me reach out to you and want to bring you on. I'm going to play that video now, if that's cool. Here we go, guys. Check this out.
That imp they call Rumpelstiltskin. If you look up what an imp is, that's what he is. In the conscious community, I'm hearing a lot of these people talk about doing biddings with jinn and say, oh, you got to make them work for you. Well, you have to understand what that actually means, though, because you have nothing for them. You have nothing that they need. He was saying, give me this possession of yours. Key word is possession, the things that you possess. And she would give him the gold necklace or the ring. And then eventually he came for her son. And that's why he was able to make the deal of, if you can guess my name, I won't take your son. Because all the other things of this world mean nothing to these beings. What only means something to them is being able to touch or have some sort of say-so. And what happens on a material plane, as you call it, the Natsut realm, is empowering to them because it's a frequency that they can pull from and draw from. So again, not from fear, from someone who's walked the path, you must be cautious with not just your dealing with these beings, for those of you who tapped into that realm, but also telling people that they should, without explaining to them that these beings have been here for trillions of years. You are a brand new human being. With all of the information that you have, you just extracted it for however long you were here. 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, 20 years. You are not here long enough for you to say that these beings are just going to work for you. That's not how it works.
Genie gave you your power, and he can take it away. He serves me for now. But you'll never have more power than the genie. But you'll never have more power than the genie.
So you have to let people know the ins and outs of this, because the same way they showed you in the Doctor Strange movie, darkness will consume people.
That was fire, brother. Could you get into a little more of that for us?
Just all together?
Yeah. Just like okay, so I was reading Manly P. Hall, Teaching of All Ages, right? And he gets into the black magician and this pact that they make with these entities. And he said by the end, the entity's always trying to trick the black magician, and the black magician has to give up more and more and more to the entity. That's why they end up sacrificing family members. And by the end of it, it's pretty much like you said, this freaking thing pretty much consumes him, you know? So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. The different deals they're making and you know, why they're making these deals and stuff like that.
Right. So one of the things I think is very important, maybe the most important, to put the blanket over this entire talk we're having, is you don't want to spiritualize these types of things. A lot of people think that that's the route to go, which is why they keep throwing people into the realm of conspiracy. Okay. Remember that we're still dealing with people. Let's start with people there, the ones who type up the contract, the ones who put the wording or the express terms on the papri, the ones who say, put your finger on this prick right here, and then put your finger on this piece of papri. These are people. They live, they breathe, they eat, they sleep, they deal with the elements how you deal with the elements. It's people start putting the Illuminati and the elite in this spiritual gaseous reality, and it actually is what they want you to do, because it keeps them separate from you. The moment you start being able to quantify who and what these beings are and realize that it could have been you could have been in that same position, then it starts to make more sense to you. And that's not what people who want to reign supreme through confusion want to happen. They don't want people to start making sense of things. So let's say, for instance, somebody comes in as an artist. They're big. They're under one of these big labels, Atlantic Records, whatever, and they grow beyond what they thought they were going to grow. And they become their own star or their own power. You see it happen all the time. You can read between the lines and you can see what and who I'm talking about. Then an artist comes and signs up under them, right? That artist is now sharing this star's power, where they get like a cosign and they're able to say, okay, I'm working with this person, I'm walking with this person, I'm doing work for this person. What they may not understand, though, is that person already has an imprint. That person has already made their own contracts, meaning they still have to follow through. And you may not have known that a part of their contract is if sales start to look kind of low, bring somebody in where you can have a shock value, right? Or a traumatic incident where they're taken out of the realm, and that will boost sales. And it's something as simple as that. It's like, go ahead.
Oh, wow. No, that makes sense. Like kind of like what happened with Puff Daddy, and I had Puff Daddy and Jay-Z on here on this image I made. Kind of like what P. Diddy did with Biggie, right?
Yeah, it really, see that, I'm glad you brought that up, because then you're still quantifying it, right? Biggie is a person. P. Diddy is a person. So is Tupac. And Tupac was explaining to people, say, yo, they want me to be an angel in a world full of devils. Look at what these devils are doing. He started to explain to you that these are still human beings, but they're operating as disagreeable beings. Now, when we go into words like disagreeable and agreeable, a lot of people think that if you're disagreeable or saying that somebody is disagreeable, that means that you're inherently evil, or you're saying that that person is inherently evil by nature. No, everybody has the choice of whether or not they're going to disagree with something or agree with something. That's why they put that able right there. It's dealing with your choice. You're able to disagree or you're able to agree. What do you see when you're going to get another app on your phone, or when you download something and you get in a new document? What do you normally see at the end of all of those pages? What do they ask you? Do you what?
Agree.
Do you agree with these terms?
Yep.
Right? Which terms has two different meanings. Terms is saying words that are being used, terminology, and terms is also saying, like the presidency, terms is saying how long this spell is going to last that you're allowing to be cast on you. All right, especially if you don't understand the express terms, meaning the way in which these terms are being used. So they ask you, do you agree? Most people do what? They just check the box.
Yep.
They just say, I do agree, which is why they say you need to read the fine print.
Yeah,
right? So when people say read the fine print, what most people think is you're saying, oh, read what you can't really see. You got to look and squint to see it. No, it means you have to read the fine print. You have to redefine what you think print is. If you don't, then you don't understand the first print that you could leave, and they showed you that in the hospital, is when you're born, you put your feet print on the papers, yes, right? Or you put your handprint on this, your fingerprints is a sign of a living being. So that's a print within itself. The moment you touch the contract, you're already in tacit agreement. You understand? A lot of people may not understand this, but as soon as you touch the document, it's like if your boat docks and you're traveling in the water, your boat docks, you meant to dock. Even if you show up on the wrong shores, they're not going to ask you, are you sure? So if you weren't supposed to be there, they're not asking if you're sure or not. They're going to handle you accordingly, because if you didn't have the clearance to pass or to dock, it's still saying you meant to dock as soon as you touch that dock. You understand what I'm explaining to you?
Right.
If it was foreign territory or military territory and it was already restricted and you land in their area or dock in their area, they're already going to handle you like you're a terrorist or an enemy because you didn't get clearance. So the moment you touch the document, you meant to dock that. Your body, your ship, your vessel, your merkaba, your chariot docked on that land, which is that paper. You understand? You can remember paper to be land because the paper comes from the trees. You understand what I'm explaining to you? So the moment you touch it, you just made a contract. You understand? So you have to read the fine print. What is print to you? You watch the movie All Eyes on Me, who was supposed to be about Tupac, right? And you see him with another being called Suge Knight, right? Which I spoke more about him in my book, How Did He Die? Okay. And he asked him, you know what I'm saying? What about the business? What do I sign? And what does Suge Knight say? He reaches out his hand. He said, this is my contract right here. This is my deal right here. This is how we sign right here. Right? And Tupac shakes his hand. That's a contract. You understand? All of this could be argued in court. So the moment you start speaking about agreeable and disagreeable, a lot of people think it means automatically good and bad, when all of you, everybody that's a living being, has the ability to choose whether or not they're going to lean toward agreeing with somebody's terms or disagreeing with somebody's terms. Then nature has its own terms. You understand? Physics has its own terms. Chemistry has its own terms. Biology has its own terms. And human beings are showing you every day, the more they start to finesse and alter DNA and all kind of things like that, that they're not agreeing with nature's terms. They're going in disagreement with it, meaning they're disagreeables in that regard. Now, you do have people who tend to be disagreeable, meaning they just want to disagree with everything, or they're downers. We understand that. Then you have people who are yes men and yes women who agree with everything. But the point is, the moment that a contract gets in front of you and you start touching that contract, looking into it, and say, you already sat down with the devil or with God or whoever it is. You're already making a contract with this being. And then the moment that you put your sign of your natural living being, or your nature signature sign, nature, your sign of your nature, or your natural token, which is a sign, or your mark or your imprint on that paper, automatically everything, they call it what? Legally binding.
Yep.
And the word binding is saying that you're locked in now. And that's what we talk about in magic. We speak about the black magician. You have to be able to reverse that spell, to take that binding off. But why would it be that way? Because in its reality, what people are thinking is just you signing something, is you actually transferring energy. When people say, oh, you either sign your name in blood or sign your name with the pen, they're one and the same thing. The moment that these beings get close enough on you to smell you, you're already in their vicinity. You're already there with them making that deal. The moment they're able to touch you and share DNA with you, the sweat from their glands comes in contact with your being, you're already in contract, which is why I don't go anywhere near this industry. Anybody who can say Faise One is an industry plant, they don't know where the industry at, because if you see Faise One, he ain't nowhere near the industry.
No, you
understand? Go ahead.
No, you definitely ain't. You make a lot of songs to the people in the industry, and you ain't never really dogging them. You're just trying to appeal to them. I love that. You know, trying to educate them. But have you ever? When I told you I was doing a decode on you, you guys know how I do the decodes, and Faise One is a very powerful first player character archetype. He carries that 35 number, which is tied into the ether, the chosen ones. You share the number with a lot of these famous people but they're powerful first player characters. They just took the wrong route. And then 35 equals 128, which is the Neo code, so that's a extremely powerful first player character archetype. But you were pretty much designed to do what you're doing, brother. Yeah. And I don't think you'll ever sell out, but do you ever fear like retaliation? Because I did see something in the 35 code that scared me. I didn't put it on here, but it said ritual sacrifice too. I'm like, damn, I hope they don't try to sacrifice my homeboy.
You can only sacrifice what belongs to you. That's why. Go ahead.
But it kind of scared me. I'm like, shit, because
you heard what I said.
You speak out about the industry a lot. You don't ever worry about retaliation from that, bro.
I'm gonna answer both of them. So you can only sacrifice what belongs to you. I don't belong to Hollywood. I don't belong to the industry. That's why I say, if I'm an industry plant, why I got to do fundraisers to get some money? They put money in the pockets of the people who are industry plants. 100%. They got all the resources they need. Shaitan makes sure you well equipped. If I'm an industry plant, why the fuck you never see me on none of the industry platforms?
Nope.
And I'm popping shit out here. And they stay away from that boy, Faise One. You understand what I'm explaining to you? I don't belong to the industry. They can't sacrifice me. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Now, that's why it's important that no matter what your read is, you still have decisions to make. You want to know what Gematria actually is? DNA.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's literally how your DNA is expressing in this reality, how your DNA is being regulated in this reality. What type of environments are you choosing? Because you sit right there in the center. No matter whether it's your mother and your father, your left and your right, okay, you're disagreeable, agreeable. You sit right there in the center. That's the choosing point. And that center says, I can drive or I can provide for myself the opportunity to allow for something divine to drive, which a lot of people start choosing something of a lesser light anyway to sit in that seat where you don't have, they say, walk by faith and not by sight, right? You don't have all of the cards on the table, but you know that just because you, as the individual, proscious or conscious, as he's called it, being, may not have all the cards, doesn't mean that all the cards are not available. So you let it up for other beings, whether it be your ancestors, whoever, to access those cards and help you. And it's still up to you in those moments to be able to discern whether or not you're dealing with a disagreeable entity or an agreeable entity, or a disagreeable ancestor or an agreeable ancestor, which a lot of people think ancestor just means good. It doesn't. You got ancestors in your bloodline, pay attention, that some of them didn't even like people that are in your family, and they may not like you. So just calling on the ancestors doesn't mean you're just calling on good people. Some of these ancestors that you're talking about were demonic individuals too. You understand what I'm explaining to you? So you're expressing in this reality. They show up as numbers. What do you think DNA is? DNA is the blueprint for all living beings. And we're living beings. So at least we're supposed to be aiming toward it if we haven't achieved that living soul state yet, right? So every piece of you is still there to unravel. Some people's DNA and genes stay dormant because they don't go into environments and situations that allow for those genes to express fully. All right, they're not encountering epigenetic environments, right? What I mean by epigenetic, which would be all the environments really, but their environments are not exposing them to epigenetics that will cause for them to be more agreeable. Sometimes they're in the club all the time, so they can't pick up on what will happen if they were to sit amongst the monks for 3 minutes. You understand what I'm explaining to you? So certain genes cannot express because of what choices you made, what choices you didn't make. I chose to not give a damn about whoever these people say they were. I don't care. I hope it's clear. I don't give a damn about Hollywood, the industry, P. Diddy, and all this. Everybody, as soon as they put their finger to my lip, I just slap it away. I say what the fuck I want to say. I do what I want to do. I do what I will to do, and I leave room for the Most High. You understand what I'm explaining to you? So I don't care nothing about what they got. They can't sacrifice me. And for the second part of it, do I fear retaliation? I fear for them what they think will happen, right, to a world where I'm going. I fear for them. I fear for anybody because they see these are still people. You understand that, right? Not a single rapper or any of these people could do something to Faise One and not have to uplift and uproot their whole community and leave. That if you already made yourself a threat, you might as well just stay out of it. Because the type of beings that move with me, the type of people that are watching, I've never met them in my life, but I see them in the astral. I know they're there. Right. Faise, we with you. There's nothing that can happen to me that those people who've already made themselves out to be a threat wouldn't have to worry about living life for their family, their whole generations to come after violating that. Because what's happening through Faise One is divine. And I'm not talking about no retaliation on them. That's something totally different. I'm talking about people trying to board their cruise ship and they go down. I'm talking about stuff that they're not prepared to deal with. So what they do is they act like Faise One doesn't exist. So there's an anointing that we're dealing with. You have to factor that into the code. Your anointing is still over your life when you walk this path. Unless, okay, you start to decide or choose to go and be this and that. But it doesn't exist in my code that I choose that. Does that make 100%. Sense?
You know it does, brother. And like when we were looking at your source code, the 35 tied to the chosen, and then that 35 equal 128. So 128 is a very positive number. Telekinesis is 128. But every number phase, it can have both positive and negative sides to it because there's two paths we can choose in life. So every person can choose the left-handed path or the right-handed path. Mm-hmm. So like 128, for example, it also has a negative side to it. The Faustian Illuminati Blood Contract is 128. And that's Lucifer the Light Bearer in that one. Blood on the Stone, the Faustian Bargain. And during 9/11, the tower collapsed at 10:28 a.m. The bridge collapsed in Baltimore, Maryland at 1:28 a.m., which bridge collapse equals 128. So there's a reason the elites use these numbers for negativity. The most recent one we just had was this one. Assad's regime fell on December 8th, which is 12/8, a representation of 128. And that was at Mount Hermon. Now they're taking over Mount Hermon, right? Which is where the fallen angels descended to bring man this forbidden knowledge. They got an 8-pointed star up on Mount Hermon too, which gets into the Star of Babylon. It represents stargates. You see it over Pazuzu, which was a Mesopotamian demon god. He has the 8-pointed star above him too. It's really called, if you trace it back to its oldest form, the Star of Anu. I found it connected to him. But 156 equals 128, and Mount Hermon is 156, and 9/11 is the 156th prime number. And like I said, on 9/11, the tower collapsed at 1028. So that 128, they use it over and over again. That in this day when the regime fell, and they're now going into Syria, taking over Mount Hermon, which is on that 33rd parallel. 33 equals 156 too, guys, matching Mount Hermon. It's on the 33rd parallel. That represents the 33rd, the third of fallen angels that followed Lucifer, the 33%. But then 33 also has a very powerful side too. It's a very positive number. So that's why they take it, demonize it. Any sacred number, they're going to invert it and demonize it. You know what I'm saying? It represents our Kundalini releasing up to 33 vertebrae, connecting to our pineal gland. Yeshua, they said, was sacrificed at 33 years old in 33 AD. So every number has a negative and positive. But yeah, that was the day Leave the World Behind came out on 12/8 too, if you remember. But I think they got something big planned over there, Faise One, over Israel taking over this location. Now, what do you think about all that? What's going on with Mount Hermon in the Holy Land? You know, it's supposed to fulfill Isaiah's prophecy and stuff. Did you hear about that?
I did. I don't get into their business with the Israels. I don't get into their stuff because there's still people. I'm serious. I don't get into their. I have nothing to do with what they got going on over there. You know, it's a lot going on over here, and I don't want to disrespect people who have personal ties to it by speaking on stuff I don't know about. And frankly, it has nothing to do with me. I don't have anything to do with it. It's just that simple. I hear people talk about it all the time. Israel, Palestine. It has nothing to do with, because here's what will wind up happening. If I go and look into it, I'm going to tell the truth about it.
Right.
And then people ain't going to like me. So, because I always know if it's politics, somebody lying.
Somebody's lying, right?
Somebody lying, and I can't speak on stuff how people speak on it. I'm gonna have to tell you the truth on it, so I just leave it alone.
I respect that, brother. I respect that. I guess what I was really asking is, do you think we're gonna see like a World War III type event unfold pretty soon?
World War III is happening now. It's happening on different. I think people might be under the impression that like a war happens like pow one time, one day. You ever remember like the Cold Wars? These wars take time. You know, you got legislation, you got actual sending troops out, you got invasions, you got hostages, you got all kinds of stuff. You're speaking about multiple countries involved in warfare, cutting out working with people, exports, imports, doing business with foreign, like all of that is a part of war. So we in it now, but even still, it's like, let's look at it. Let's be 100% realistic. Most people that talk about it, do they have underground bunkers already prepared just in case they blow the whistle right now while we on live?
Yeah.
Do they actually, or is it content for them? You know what I mean? Are they prepared to have a civil war or anarchy that comes if the governments decide that they know that there's an existential threat coming from outside of the planet Earth, and they just shut down government and they just disappear on you? You know nothing about where they went. You know what I mean? The police ain't working no more. It's no man's land. Are people really prepared to defend and fight? Because that's what you may have to do, because you're still dealing with human beings. All they want to do is survive. You're telling them something is coming here is going to destroy all life on the surface, and people on the surface are still fighting to survive. You know what I mean? Knowing that it's happening, like the movie Don't Look Up. This is going to happen. You still see, it's always a TV. I don't know what the TV is. You still see somebody running with a TV. Look up. Your realm is about to end. Everything you know, but people. So my point is, it could happen. I don't stress about it because we already at war. You know, I'm at war. Individually, I'm at war. I have to move a certain way. You know, as people have different. So I know that if it comes to it, of course, it'll be something that people would have had to be prepared for. Talking about it ain't enough unless you're talking about preparation. But people been talking about preparation for a long time for different things. I remember at one point in time, every month there was a food shortage that never happened.
I remember that. Yep.
Every month there was a food shortage that never came to life.
They were burning up all the food distribution plants, remember? Well, a lot of it too, brother, is I think they're looshing us. You know what loosh is, where they harvest our loosh energy. And so they keep people in states of fear and terror. It's also easier to control people that way.
Yeah.
You know,
and it stops you from being able to activate your DNA.
Right.
The same this is reality, by the way. Everything I speak, you can go look it up scientifically. You feel I'm explaining it to you, even down to the contracts. When we get into it, you'll see what I'm saying, right? If I put you in an environment that's stressful to you, I'm affecting your genes. I'm affecting your DNA. And if I keep you in that environment, whoever or whatever you were going to become or could have become without having to deal with those stressful environments, you will no longer be able to become. So let's say, I don't know, just throw it out there. Let's say in 2020, I know what to do. Let me just tell people their world is about to end. And let me not give them enough information for them to have mental clarity so they automatically go into stress on what that ending entails of. What winds up happening is because people never truly got an answer for that. You know what I'm talking about. They're still on autopilot waiting for that information. And they've never been able to fully develop whatever would have been needed for them to actually deal with the stress because they don't know where it's coming from. They don't have the therapy for that. And people just went on with their life. And those same people went out to vote. Those same people are out here trying to decide whether or not they're team man or team woman with the gender politics that they threw out there in that same year. All of it was stress. Stress is a regulator. If I want people to be at, you ever seen the thing where they grab the box? Let me just grab some noodles right here. And they shake up the ants. Yeah. And the ants are fighting and at war with each other. Right. 2022, they shook everybody up. And people still shook. And they were getting mad at me because I wasn't scared with them. And they were getting, I'm not talking about just one side. Remember, they split it. Polarization is a motherfucker. They split it into two sides. One side was like, I'm not going to get that. The other side was like, I am going to get that. Yep. And then it was me. One side was like, you can't come over here if you got it. Right. Other side was like, you can't come over here if you don't got it. And then that was me. Yeah. You remember at one point in time, they were saying that people's proteins was going to be shedding and jumping off of one body and getting on to the other one. Right. I don't think they understand the size of a protein. Yeah, that motherfucker couldn't jump nowhere fast nor far. But everybody was saying it. You want to know why? Because they put out these rebel plants, as I call them, and these RPPOs, reverse psychological operations, where they said, oh, this is a whistleblower. There was no such thing. That was just the man saying, extra, read all about it. Now, why you need to read extra? I talked about that in one of my books. I said, we eating food. You chew up the meat, you spit out the what? The bone. Right. For those of you who still eat meat. Right. So then, you're not eating the bone. The bone is extra. So why do you need to read extra? Extra, read all about it. It's the extra shit that got people fucked up. Yeah, no, you're right. And 100%. These books you got, brother, how could people go about checking out your books? I know they're in PDF form, your books? They are. So if people want those books, what they can do is they can send any amount to Play for Change Cash App. Is available mostly through Cash App. So Play for Change Cash App, you just send whatever amount you want to send and send your email with it. And there are 16 in all. So whatever you send, you still get all 16 books. It's just as simple as that. Just make sure you send your email with it because there's a box that says for. So when you're saying what it's for, make sure you put your email and whatever you send, you get all 16 books. Okay, cool, man.
Yeah, and that link is down below, guys, and it's play for change. All you see it on the screen right there. That's a good deal. So
Thank you for
that,
that.
that's a cool thing that you're doing for people as well, bro. And I was doing this research the other day on how they overstimulate society with sex, bro.
Mm,
That's another thing from the time we're little kids, we're being stimulated with it. And when I was looking into that, bro, it blew my mind some of the stuff I was reading. You
right.
know how it affects us. And I mean, even with all these little kid films, bro, like on the Lion
Hmm.
King, if you block out its
Hmm.
eye, bro, I'm on
Yep.
YouTube right now, so I'm be careful how I say this, but
I
uh,
understand.
you can see it kind of looks like a female, and then on on Little Mermaid, I mean, that looks like a phallus, a male's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It, so in Ren and Stimpy, they had it, and so that got me looking into retention, semen retention, and
Hmm.
how benefits of that, and
Yep.
how between the ages, usually between 1 and 7, that's when they're really programming us with the over sexualization. And
Exactly.
I mean, it really does affects us. And look at the word sex, guys. It equals 48 in English ordinal. Well, 4 plus 8 is 12. One
Mm,
plus, if you reduce it to its lowest, 1 plus 2 is 3, which is the father, the mother, and the child. Which is the three aspects of creation. And then
mm,
when you spell out 4 8, it's 109, which is male, female, child. And it seems like um they're really trying to manipulate that to I think they want to control that too, bro. Like they don't want it to be to where we can bring in life organically anymore. You get what I'm saying? I think
mhm.
they want it eventually to be where they control all that. Just like in that one movie where you have to get permission of Silo, that new series Silo on Apple TV. So they put this chip inside of you, bro, and you can't even have kids unless you get permission from the silo, and then they take the chip out, and then you're allowed to have children. You
Mhm.
it's pretty crazy, but that's sacred energy too, that sacred sexual energy, and they're manipulating it, inverting it. And I found out this too when when a man, he keeps it within his body, it increases testosterone
Mhm.
levels,
Mhm.
makes your vision clear, boost confidence, a bunch of different things. And it also, with the female, it does the same thing. And then when you release it more, it has a reverse effect on them, which goes into I don't how do I say this without getting in trouble? Sexual reversal. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Where the females produce more testosterone and the
Mhm.
males produce more estrogen.
Mhm.
So there's some crazy stuff going on there, bro. And I mean, you wouldn't even believe how many different movies I found it in, bro. Like Monsters Inc. They got the little picture there, and it says "mommy." I mean, that looks very sexual to me,
It is.
right? Like, come on, man, that's weird, right there. Just like in Lion King, in the sky, the stars, Phase One, it says sex up there,
So
bro.
then you want to know, and I'm just, this might be foreshadowing, it might not be foreshadowing. Somebody needs to sue them.
I agree.
Some people need to collectively come together. This may be foreshadowing, may not be foreshadowing. Some people need to collectively come together. One of the things that I don't know, let's say there's a movement of truth coming out here, and somebody like, I don't know, maybe like a Phase One, I don't know.
Parents.
They may have a plan to collectively sue the shit out of all of these companies because that is molestation.
Yep. In their
You
toy.
understand? But who's going to sue the demons? They're afraid because a lot of people, they say, oh, this person was about to buy NBC, so they lock them up. They hit them with this. This person was about to do this with that, so they lock them up. But these people belong to them. Excuse
Right.
me, you might not want to hear this. Bill Cosby belongs to them. They can do that. R. Kelly belongs to them.
P.
They
Diddy
can do
belong.
that.
Yep.
You understand what I'm explaining to you? Diddy belongs to them. They can do that. They hitting Jay-Z. Notice they coming with lawsuits. They're not even starting with we're going to actually charge you for the act. That's how you know. All these folks belong to them people. They ain't do that. But I don't belong to them. I can sue the shit out of them whenever I feel like it. I can do it tomorrow. Because that's molestation. You molested, man, please. It would shut Hollywood down if just one person knew they could do that. But I promise you, I'm the first motherfucker ever say that shit. Why? Because anybody who y'all think out here gonna speak the truth and say shit like that, they scared because they belong to the devil. They belong to the beasts, the machines, the people. They're in bed with all these people they want to claim. Like, no disrespect, but people talking about D1, all these people, D1 could never. He could never go against the beast. If he even tried to go against the beast, they will remind him, hey, remember what you did? Remember you signed this right here?
Right.
You might want to be quiet because we gave you that position. We put you on Revolt TV. We let you get the Shay in the morning, what they call Sway in the morning resident. We helped you get to where you at. You might want to relax because we'll remind you who the God of this world is, which is why you see him merging in the conversation of choosing somebody as a president, as opposed to dealing with it truthfully and saying, God is the one true ruler. If you're a Christian, now I ain't no Christian. I'm just saying, if you're a Christian, then you already know Romans 13. You know what I mean? If you're a Christian, you already know the only kingdom that you're voting for is the kingdom of the Most High. What? Somebody wake somebody up today? Then how are you even siding with any of the politicians if you're a Christian? You understand what's playing to you? It's because it's all games. If I'm for Christ, God, truth, life, way, then I don't care what Shaitan got going on. We ain't voting for none of these devils. We ain't playing. We ain't all that choose a lesser of two evils. That don't exist. It ain't none of that happening.
Right.
We only dealing with the truth. So my point is, you can look at what people are doing and tell whether or not they were put there to do that. Why would D1 be put there? And I'm not talking about just by no one person. D1 whole thing is to make Faise One look less dangerous. Because a D1, Kendrick Lamar can say D1 name. For some reason, he can't say Faise One. He can say D1. I wish I had a heart like D1. But Kendrick went over there and signed with them people too. So it ain't but so much Kendrick can say. It's not but so much Kendrick could do. He could tag me in because I can tell I'm bigger than Doc. I'm bigger than Kendrick, way bigger. I'm talking about what's right here in that soul. They don't have mine.
And you know they've heard of you, bro. Like, come on.
Listen, is this on?
Yeah.
It is their responsibility to know I exist. They're not allowed to not know something like this is happening. The whole Hollywood knows about Faise One. They all know. It may not be the masses yet because there's a concentrated effort, meaning they're centered on that con. It's a concentrated effort to keep Faise One away from the masses. That's why you start doing the math. Man, this nigga going viral every damn day, damn near.
Yeah. I mean, some of your stuff goes millions of views. That's how I know they have to know.
Yeah, but why are not the blogs picking it up?
Right.
Why do you not see him in the same places like No Jumper and the rest of them? That they put people with less of an impact on this community, these communities, this world. Why you don't see none of them are even reaching out? It's because they all under contract. But people people think contract means you pick up a pen and sign a piece of paper. You making contracts with things that you do, routes that you choose. You understand that? So my point is, it's just one of those things. If people are paying attention, it's just one of those things where they have it controlled, the environment, to such a degree that if anybody wanted to actually fight the beast, you can't be still sitting at their table. You got to do what we've done before. You got to walk in and flip their tables over.
I agree, bro. I mean, dude, I've got videos, no joke, on my big Facebook. This is streaming to now. We got like 330,000 something followers now. I got videos over there, bro, that are at 2 million, 2.5 million. I got the biggest one I ever got was 2.8 million. But we're going viral all the time over there, and I've never had none of them mention me. You know, they won't even say my name, bro. I mean, and I don't care, but it's just, it's like, come on, man. And me and Donut was talking about this the other day. Shout out to my boy, Donut Factory. He's actually doing an all day live today, 24-hour presentation. So he's probably going right now. Shout out to him. But we were talking about this the other day. you know, people like Alex Jones and David Icke, they know who we are. We know that for a fact because they've stolen some of our content, but they will never mention our name. They even shared one of Donut's videos before, but didn't say his name. They just shared a clip of his video and didn't even give him credit for it, bro. It's like, man, and you ain't reaching the level. A lot of these people, even in the comments, probably think, oh, Alex is on our team. Bro, no, he's not. You don't get to that level, you know what I'm saying, without he definitely ain't on our team. I don't think so anyways. That's my
I think Alex had a lot going on. A lot of people thought he was a whistleblower. I think this is just me. I don't think so. I think bro was a part of it because it's about keeping shit wild. Like, you can never believe this. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen tomorrow. And everybody, and then tomorrow never comes. And then people like, well, at least it was entertaining enough. And they start confusing entertainment for information.
Yep.
That's what a lot of people got on now. That's the 19 keys. Rest of these people, Billy Carson just got rolled over. You know what I mean? Because they would say somebody grilled Billy Carson as he swore up and down he was a scholar of the Sinai Bible. The rest of the stuff, probably never read it. Because when he was pointed out, the dude was pointed out, say, yo, this shit that you saying is not in there. It's actually in all these people. Entertainment. You know what I mean? Trying to be the next, whatever they thought was. A lot of people don't want to say Dr. Malachi York name because Dr. Malachi York, they wouldn't have him on podcasts. They wouldn't bring him on the platforms. They wanted him nowhere near that. But they let everybody else come because you're dealing with actual collegiates. You're dealing with people who really study in the field. They can't wait, especially if you're melanin dominant. They can't wait to have you on the show to ask you some shit about stuff you out here claiming that you know, and then grill you. They can't wait for it, but they didn't. They could wait. They had all the time in the world when it came to Dr. Malachi York. They didn't want him anywhere near it because they knew he spoke the languages. He didn't just read the books. He translated the books. He wrote the books. He wrote subject matters that they were having to study to even come and talk. You got to study his work to talk to him about what he's talking about.
And then they set him up for some crazy shit. So the average person like, oh, he did that. I can't have nothing to do with him. Yeah. But he a lot of my friends that I look up to and I know they know what they're talking about. They said he was set up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why I tell you,
I could say that, but I know you know very well
firsthand.
Right.
Firsthand, I know firsthand. I was there. That's why I was there on Tamaray, the land that he built. I grew up in Nuwapu, the one true science that woke everybody up, not the religious side of this, that, and the third. Everybody had their own thing. Nuwapu sparked this genetic upregulation, conscious or process activation. I grew up in that. So that's my swagger. That's my everything. So I'm not upset with people though, because I really, like I told you, I was saying to you earlier, at the end of the day, it's just people's natural will to survive. You know, when you bring somebody a piece of information, they're just thinking like, if I tell you something, you tell me something, the first natural response is, this person is telling me this to protect me. This person is telling me this because they actually care about me. This person is telling me this because they have my best interest at their heart. That's what we want to believe. The brain wants to believe that. If I tell you something, I say, yo, right now, I got a purple elephant on the other side of the screen. You just envisioned it. You just believed it. And then the critical thinking self, which we can get into that sex you were talking about, the critical thinking self is active for those who have it. They're like, man, fuck that. That don't make sense. Turn the screen around. Let me see. You want to seek and actually go and find whether or not that was true. And that's not the masses. The masses are asses. The moment you say something else, this person did this. Not only do most of the masses believe it, a lot of them wanted to believe it because whoever or whatever was presented in such a way that was holding them accountable for who or what they are or they're not, they hated them. They hated them. You see the nigga, instead of some people, they see somebody, they in the gym all day, right, working out, Some people get mad about that. Right? Because it doesn't sit right in their spirit. Some people already have that in their spirit, so they're inspired. And they don't get mad. They get glad when they see that. You understand? So when they see one of the people fall, they're like, oh, we knew it was something wrong with him anyway. We knew he had to be something because he was trying to act like he was high and mighty and this, that, and the third, which that's most of the time, that's not what we're doing anyway. All we're doing is we found something, we brought it to you, said, look what we found. And then you can do whatever you want. We don't want you to think we are holy, this or that or the third, whatever. It's up to you. We brought you, I just gave you batteries to your remote. What the fuck is you mad at me for? Because you come to my house, feel like I don't got no batteries in my remote. You got batteries in yours now.
Right.
So they out there celebrating with signs, say, we knew he ain't had no batteries. We knew it, but you got batteries. But my thing is, whatever it is, true or not, people want to believe the worst about people. It happens. But that's also adverse to their own survival, because survival requires, especially with this type of life form, community. You know what I'm saying? It requires community. So it brings you right back around to that center. People want to believe it. I'm not mad at them. Let them believe it. We don't put out all the truth about it. We still speaking the truth about it. We're telling you it's a setup. We're telling you it's a conspiracy. Dr. Malachi York is the only one that y'all don't want to say for sure this was a setup. And they didn't even want to mention him until all these other ones started falling who were mimicking him. When the other ones who were mimicking him started to fall, now they want to mention him. Oh, maybe we should free Rashad Jamal and Dr. York. But you ain't want to scream free Dr. Malachi York before Rashad Jamal got hit, before Nature Boy got hit, before all these other people
they hit
trying to mimic right knowledge. They were trying to mimic the works, but you can't mimic the works. You cannot put Rashad Jamal, Nature Boy, Young Pharaoh, 19 Keys, Dr. Umar Johnson, whoever these people, you cannot put them in the same sentence, not sensibly, with Dr. Malachi York of saying that these are the people that helped. No, Dr. Malachi York is a man of his own. And they know that, which is why they do their best to not mention his name. But if they do, they're going to do like Rashad Jamal did. They're going to say, oh yeah, free Dr. York and free Mutulu. And free. They can never just, it can't be just free Dr. Malachi York. Not only that, we need to help him out. He's our elder. He's being tortured. He's been going through this for 22 years. His people abandoned him. He got people on the inside still trying to keep him in there. He got family members trying to keep him in there. It's never that. You know what I mean? It's always just, oh, we had him. No, he's still here alive and living. He's about to be 80 years old. They never want to push for him to get out, but they pushing for niggas who got 7 years slapped on the wrist. For not saying that I know whether or not they did what the fuck they said they were doing, but these motherfuckers were actually in a position to do what they said they was in a position to do. And these people raise hell about a nigga with 7 years. Somebody get 135 years that actually benefited your community. Brother Polite ain't benefit your community. Brother Polite entertained your community.
Right.
Yeah, you understand? Rashad Jamal didn't benefit your community. He made a lot of people lose their way, because now when I'm presenting them right knowledge, they don't know right knowledge when it's scratching them on the nose. They have no idea what they're dealing with. They wandering around here lost. They using all these terminologies. About non-ether, don't know where it came from.
Young Pharaoh, I think, misled a lot of people. He was cool in the beginning, but then I don't know what the hell happened to him. Did they clone his ass or something?
That can't happen. Let me tell you something. That can't happen with us. It doesn't happen. It's not in our genes for you to be able. You'll never hear no. What happened to Faise One? I don't know how he went crazy. That doesn't happen with us.
Right.
But you want to know what happened with Young Pharaoh?
Man,
we stepped to him, and we started letting it be known. You're using Dr. Malachi your information. When are you going to pay homage and let it be known not only that's his information, his outformation? Well, when are you going to express that he needs to be let out of prison, that he's being held by the beast that you speak out against? When we started bringing that to it, then you see the smear campaigns where he's going on YouTube trying to bash Dr. Malachi York, calling him a this, that, and the third. None of this, even the stuff he was saying, is not even on the record. It's not even what he's in there for. You understand? So all the defamation, everything. But he had to ask people like Young Pharaoh, if you really believe that and you're a scholar of that and you think you know all the facts, why are you using his information? Tommy, or I'm not going to use you. I'm going to use somebody else, just a random person, nigga named Bill. If Bill did some shit and I know Bill did some shit, I don't give a fuck if Bill said the most genius shit in the world. You will never hear me repeat it.
Right.
Bill and everything Bill ever said, I'm not ever going to repeat his stuff. I don't want to be associated. I know Bill did this, so I don't want nothing to do with Bill. That's not what because they know it's not true. So they want to come out here now, oh, non-ether. We are non-ether, da-da-da-da. Okay, explain it without saying hair. Explain non-ether. All of these, so they had to stop. He started to try to set down the Egyptian image. But by now, your whole thing is remedied off of or replicated off of the ancient Egyptian order by Dr. Malachi York. Same thing with Rashad Jamal when he's sitting there with the crook and flail and trying to. I could put the images up there and show you that one is the original and one is the fake. Wow. One is the original, one is the copy. So then you have to ask these people, why is it that you copied everything he presented truthfully, You watered it down because you didn't have the works behind it, but you didn't find it important for you to advocate for him being released out of the belly of the beast. Why? Because they wanted the glory for themselves. They saw the glory, but they didn't want the crucifixion. That's why I tell people, go watch that Book of Clarence movie, right? When they said they were not only coming for the Messiah, and that, again, I want to put this on record. Dr. Malachi said, I am not the Messiah. So he never said he was the Messiah. He's Jesus. He said, I'm not Jesus. None of that. Let's just say that his name is Isa. Let's put it on the record. His name is Isa. His mama name is Mary. He still said he ain't Jesus. And in the movie Book of Clarence, they were saying not only were they coming for the real one, the true light, they were coming for everybody who was faking like they was him. They said they wanted all false messiahs locked up too. So when they get screaming like, why they ain't come for Faise One? What did I didn't do what y'all did. I never tried to be Dr. Malachi York. I never tried to act like he didn't exist where I could put myself up on here. I'll tell you that you don't go wrong with this type of light. Where you hear Rashad Jamal calling the women bitches because they don't want to share each other or share each other's mates and stuff like that, or because you don't want to interact with polygamy and put yourself up to be subject to all these different diseases and all kind of other stuff you have to deal with. Now you have to be a bitch. You done dropped in frequency. You're not a goddess no more. You're still a bitch trying to find it all out. First of all, we don't disrespect the sisters.
Right.
Not because we're trying to keep a public image. Fuck that. My eye doesn't play. My eye do not play. And my eye is linked directly to the women. So the moment you come out here bashing the women, we know it ain't gonna be long. We know it won't be long. Because she don't play. And that's something that he's still going to have to answer.
Our queens anyways. And, you know, a woman is an amazing, they're the only person that can bring in a new soul contract. They literally got a portal between their legs. You know what I'm saying, bro? They could bring in new life. So, I mean, and back in the ancient times, they were revered in a different sense and honored. But now it's like they're trying to destroy the sacred feminine and demonize it for some reason. You know, they make it cool for that. With the, you know, I grew up, I was born in 83, young Pharaoh, or I almost said young Pharaoh, I'm sorry. When we were talking about young Pharaoh's ass. But I was born in 1983. So that was like the golden age of hip hop, right? But they was teaching us back then to sell drugs. And that's when we started calling our women bitches. And, you know, all that, it was programmed in the music, bro. And they know the music, it moves you. You know, that's the way the people's their subconscious, their heart, like with your music, when I hear it, that shit motivates me. It can either motivate someone or it can cause them to do the wrong thing. It depends on what you're listening to. That's also why they changed the frequency of the music. It was actually at a different hertz, and then they changed that too, just like the television, right? So there's something with all that, how it's affecting us and affecting our body. What they do, go from 440, or they changed it to 440, right?
It's 240. It's been standardized to 440 now. It is 440.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what was, I forget what it was.
It was 432.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So yeah, Rhonda said 432 to 440.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I knew it was one. So yeah, just messing with it like that.
Because it's messing with the music is messing with your DNA.
Yeah.
Messing with the music is messing with your genes, and how, again, go right back around. A lot of what people are hearing me speak on this year is dealing with DNA. And I explain to people, the 8th year, 2024, was about genetic upregulation. And when I would put the 8, I would use the DNA. If somebody would comment the DNA emoji, you'll realize it's the number 8.
Yeah, the infinity sign. Yep.
Right. But why?
2024 is the year of the 8 numerologically too.
You said what?
2024 is the year of the 8 numerologically, because it adds up to 8. So
that's what I'm saying. That's why I got it. The 2 and 4.
Yeah.
I'm explaining to you. So all of this affects the DNA. You'll look at how music, the frequency is registered. You'll see it appears to be an 8, or it appears to be genes, or it appears to be double helix, or the DNA strand. You understand what I'm explaining to you? So when people are thinking about genetic upregulation as opposed to downregulation, it has something to do with your environment. All right? Your inner environment and your outer environment. It's similar to the homeostasis program that we came here with, right? Of regulating that. So if I'm listening to, what is the nigga name? Kanye West, broke this down a while ago. If I'm listening to these 808s, it's doing something to my being. If I'm listening to not just the 808s, because that could be, you could take 808 and finesse it in such a way that it's not harming people, but what did you fuel it with? If I'm listening to negative tones, negative frequencies, negative messages, then it's also affecting my being. And if I'm listening to positive ones, it's affecting my being. So then if I'm like, let's deal with the women, how you speak about the women, how they wanted us to start bashing. It was all about fear. They realized and still know to this day who the most powerful living beings on this planet are. And that's the women of all races or kinds, as you want to call it. That's what genetics gives you. Gene is kind or race, right? Yep. All women, okay, they're the most powerful beings. They are the super men. Literally, look at you say Superman, it means to go beyond the man or beyond mankind or beyond the race of man. Those are women, the XX chromosome. You understand? Even though even in this reality, one will express to make sure that the job gets done. One of the X's expresses to get the job done. You're still dealing with the true factor of women being the superhumans. They're the ones who nurture the babies. They're the ones who carry the life. They're the ones who are already connected or pronected to the divine, intuitively pronected to divine. And there go that vine right there, because we come through with the umbilical cord, right? Cord pronected to our navel, which still gives you Navy or Navi, which brings you right back around to the immediate messenger, the first messenger, which is our mother, the mother. And that's what Nebi means, by the way. Nebi is a messenger or a prophet. You understand? So they wanted it to be that people started to turn away from the women out of fear. They shared their fear that women will eventually take over. You start realizing who's bashing. Look, go back to the situation where somebody's calling somebody a bitch because they don't want to share. That's power. And the lack thereof. When men feel like they're running out of power, they resort back to the caveman tactics. They start slamming stuff around, punching through stuff. Right. Ooga, booga, booga, ooga. You know what I mean? They want to bash you into submission. They want to beat you into submission. They can't speak it. They can't speak meduneta, the water language or the divine speech, right? Because then you realize you don't have to do all of that. But when men start feeling like they don't have power anymore, they become mechanical. Turn into robots, they have to fight their way to power. It's abrupt. It's the same thing the Caucasoids did to the Negroids at that point in time, where they were so afraid of the Negroids, they had to fight and abuse their way into power. They didn't earn it naturally. It's the same thing with the men and the women. Men have abused their way into power. We don't really run shit. We would like to think that we do. Societally, we've been programmed to think that how men lead is how men are supposed to lead, or we're the animals, we're supposed to caretake. And like 90% of us don't even farm or hunt. You just want to run shit and you don't run it. It's nothing natural at this point. It's a choice that the society has programmed you to make. You don't have to make it. You can respect who she is, meaning respect, look at her again, who she is as a being, and any man in their right mind would understand the last enemy you want to have is a woman. The last enemies you want to have is all women. You understand? So what wound up happening is because they were afraid themselves, they said, well, if we just place her in a different center, a different chakra, or a different arusha, if we place her in a different loop, then maybe we can contain her power so she doesn't overthrow us. And they said, where you want to put her? They said, put her in the root chakra and keep her there. Put her in the root chakra and don't ever let her rise up to that crown. Because if she does, it's over for just the masculine or the faulty masculine, not the divine masculine. It's over for them. And they knew that. So then they employed literally and deployed rappers, men and women alike, to promote pimp culture. But right there in the root word of pimp, you got imp.
You sure do.
Come on now. Slick Nakashis. Because you saw the pimps, they always dress slick. A pimp named Slickback. The Slickback is the snakes. Nakash will go out into the community and slick your women out of her position. So that she's now standing on the corner. She's no longer in the center. Y'all ain't hearing me though. She was standing on the corner or on the strip. She was divested for where all the brothers at in the hood, if you get what I'm saying. She was divested. She no longer got everything that she had, everything that she earned in this reality. They stripped her naked and then walked her in circles, circumambulation, right, around that corner or on that strip and said, get my money, bring it to me, and abused them and prostituted them. And then what wound up happening? The sisters who were growing up in the community were looking up to the prostitutes. And then somebody else went in, one of the labyrinth L's or the labels came in and said, yo, I'm going to give you a deal. Give me your hand. I'm going to shake your hand. I'm going to give you a deal. I'm going to make you very rich, very famous, very powerful. Okay. Well, what's the catch? Oh, there is no catch. All you have to do is be the catch or the catcher. All you have to do is put out the image that these sisters will want to look up to so that we can make more of you. Because we need you, Tyrone. You're worth something. So if something happened to you, we need that image to stay alive. So they cloned Tyrone. Then they cloned Shawana and Tasha, the rest of them. And next thing you know, the prostitutes used to be able to be identifiable. You knew what they wore. You saw how they walked, how they talked, how they acted when music came on. Hey, all the ratchets, that was prostitutes. Why? Because they were off of liquor. It wasn't their everyday thing. It was not for women to always be doing. They were always at the club. They was off liquor or off drugs, ecstasy, all this other stuff. So they acted loose because of that. I don't know what this is. Whatever this is, what they do. So they acted loose because of that, right? And then the sisters looked up to them and said, you know what? I want to be like Lil' Kim. I want to be like Foxy. I want to be like this. And Cardi B and the City Girls or the Jezebels. I want to be like them. And then now you look out, you don't know who prostitutes are anymore. You would be a lying like a motherfucker. You think you can look and tell who's a prostitute. Because everybody's in the club now with they drinking their hair, acting loose, shaking their ass up. Everybody walking the strip. Everybody's in the house doing that. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro. Now I was watching this video not too long ago, and the girl was doing a promotion on her, and she was a pretty girl doing a promotion for her OnlyFans page, and the kid walked into the frame, her 3-year-old kid. She shoved the damn kid down. The kid hit his head on the wall.
Yeah, she fucking up her money. If you did that, listen, if mama was making some money and Tyrone walked in, Tyrone probably gonna get his ass whooped. Tyrone, mama making her money right now. It's the same shit. Look at the OnlyFans. OnlyFans says, I'm gonna make you a star. I'm gonna make you a star. Meaning I'm gonna put you up here to be worshipped and idolized. Right? And you don't have OnlyFans on there. When men go on OnlyFans, they're not there because, can I speak here? They don't give a damn about the person. They're there for what they're there for. The experience, the thrill, the orgasm, and then you don't mean shit after that. As a matter of fact, the more that's been revealed by an OnlyFans star, niggas gonna act like they don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna be the only nigga that know what I'm talking about right now. Only thing that's what pornography and all this shit. The more that was revealed, the less of a curiosity there was anyway. So once you figured out what it is, you figured it out. You went and searched. I'm curious. Oh, I figured it out. Now you figured it out. You just walk out the way you came in. You don't care nothing about that person. You're not a fan of them. Mm-hmm. You want to know what else killed this whole fan ideology? The fact that it's a million of them. It's a million to choose from. Niggas could choose a new person to lust after daily. It has nothing to do with you. Then you get caught in this cycle.
Yeah.
This cycle of you're still trying. Now you have to go and make more fans that you thought were fans. So you don't have fans. So then you're using Instagram to shop yourself. You want to know what winds up happening? This is happening, by the way. That's why trafficking is a lot harder to catch than what people think. You start setting up a profile on Instagram where you know you're not making money off of OnlyFans. So using OnlyFans as just this is like a cover-up, a masquerade. Really, you're in the trafficking ring now, where you get hit up by one of these major celebrities. I don't know, Drake. I'm just speaking out the side of my face. Drake, Lil Baby, Meek Mill, you know what I mean? Whoever will be participate. A few of them I know participate. I know Drake and Lil Baby definitely participate for sure. And the community, a lot of little baby artists participate in it because they think that it's just, oh, we hood rich now, we can buy all the women. But they don't understand. Y'all niggas been participating in trafficking, and I know it, and I've literally observed when it's happening. And that's from being around sisters and not trying to have sex with them. Well, that's what people are doing. They're buying women to have sex with them. So when it comes to stuff like that, the sisters are setting up their profile to be bought and sold because OnlyFans not making them no money. So then you see them in Dubai, right? That's one of the main hotspots, though. By the way,
Oh yeah,
you see them in Dubai. They taking their pictures. Some Miami, Florida for the lower grade women. You'll know which type of grade it is or what type of tier you're dealing with a woman by the environment. So if she's just in the Bahamas somewhere, they probably paid her like $2,000.
Hey, bro, they be having them Saudi princes and shit. They be having top stars like Cardi B and them out there scrubbing toilets and shit in their bikini.
Yeah,
because they can afford.
And they'll pay them $100,000.
Yeah, crazy
$250,000.
Crazy money to go out there and do that shit. I've heard some crazy stories, with
what you gonna do? They're corrupt individuals, a lot of them, not all of them. They're corrupt individuals. They got billions of dollars. They're bored. They're not going to really explore spirituality. A lot of them covered up with Islam. They're not really going to explore spirituality, which is what a lot of people do when they get money. They say, you know what, I got everything. Let me just go ahead. No, they're going to continue to play in the carnal realm. So they get off on that. Yeah, I had this person that they could talk amongst their friends like a trophy. You know what I mean? I had this person and I had that person doing this. This person did this to me. We did this to this, but we recorded them. Where you get the sex tapes and all the Diddy stuff that they got going on. That's where they get off. It's all about just the carnal being. So my point is not to bash women who are in that lifestyle. Because I understand people made their own decisions, did different things. Y'all are your own people. Yeah. It is to say, though, that lifestyle needs to be examined more closely than what people are examining it, because it has a lot to do with people's well-being, their mental health, and what they're promoting to the rest of the masses as if it's okay. So it becomes, now you got to fight for your position. You got to fight for what you believe in, or you got to fight for what's making you money. So they start doing this thing where they were bringing on OnlyFans girls to podcast. But they knew they were going to tear them apart. But they brought them on there anyway. And the girls, they trying to defend their way. And there you go, that split again, man versus woman. They say, you don't know what it means to be a woman, da, 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 da. And all these niggas just some bitch ass niggas. They want to argue with women anyway. They want to make women feel bad anyway. These men get off on bashing women. So then it's just a horrible mashup where now you're dealing with a shit show of people trying to defend their beliefs, and they're fighting each other and they're at war with each other. And guess who's watching it? Men and women, which means they're deciding on which side they're going to side on. That's what the Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion things. My point is this: it becomes that they have to keep sending out these soldiers into the communities by use of, or by way of, mass broadcasting and mass promotion and mass production of these beings. So now they become the main image that people look up to. That's on the men and the women's side. So the men are saying, fuck the female, get her money. Fuck the female, you know what I'm saying? Buy her if you want to, get her a new body, all this other stuff. The niggas is thinking, this is what I need to do to become a powerful man. And the women are thinking, because the sisters are saying, he did buy me a new body. I don't care nothing about nothing but his money. It's just prostitution. Can we be honest? Everybody gonna be honest? It's just prostitution. You've turned, or allowed Shaitan to turn your culture into a prostitution ring. And y'all are okay with it. And the reason why people are okay, it's easier. It's easier to do that. Now nobody has to court anybody. All you got to do is have enough money. You don't have to court people. You don't have to know whether or not they got diseases. You don't have to know whether or not you're genetically mixing with somebody who's a psychopath. You don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to do is just get enough money, save up, and you can go have fun one summer in the hood with all these women who don't have anything, and they just need some money. It'd be all about some money.
Yep.
And so then all that ties back around to sex, or six, which keeps people focused in the reptilian brain as opposed to the frontal lobe, right? Or the prefrontal cortex is not able to thrive in that area, saying you're not making the decisions anymore based off of critical thinking. You're not letting the boss of your brain operate. You're letting the limbic system and below operate, and you're becoming more animalistic. When that happens, all right, because you have both of them in your nature, human beings tend to destroy themselves. So the rest of these people that are out here saying, like we say, semen retention, which a lot of us are working with and teaching other people to do for the reasons of us actually being able to see the benefits of it. When you do stuff like that, you're encouraging your will, right? You're encouraging your will to function. A lot of people think will means good, will means bad. I don't know who it is that thinks bad, but some people lean to left or right with will. Will is an abstraction, is what it's called. Meaning you can go either way. It's not something that is just set in stone over here, set in stone over there.
Right.
You understand? So whichever part of yourself you wanted to tap into, it takes will to do it. It takes less will, all right, to just succumb. Listen to this word, succumb to desire or succumb to temptation. It takes less will to do that. When you say that word succumb, it sounds like Sechem. And Sechem is the ancient Kemetic or ancient Egyptian word for power. You understand that?
Oh,
and
yeah,
power is required to make these types of decisions. And every time you make these decisions, you're forming a new being. Every time you choose, I'm not going to look at pornography. Every time you choose, I'm not going to masturbate. Every time you choose, I'm not going to ejaculate. Every time you choose, I'm not going to just go out here and have casual sex for the hell of it or for the heck of it, right? Or for the spell of it, hex. All right. Every time you choose, I'm going to eat healthy. Every time you choose, I'm going to fast. Every time you choose, your body will say, "Oh, we on that timing? That's what we doing? Are we being better? Shit, I'm with it." Your genes start saying, "What was that?" And he say he be doing better. All right, we don't need you no more lactose. You're not even in this environment, so we're going to regulate a different way, if you don't mind. Thank you. And okay, now we're going to form this, and we're going to express this way. As soon as lactose reappeared, it got to regulate it. But then this nigga just say he wasn't doing cheese. All right, fuck it. All right, lactose, come on. We know how to deal with you. We're going to block this real quick. Help this to move. All right, hold on, polymerization. It ain't your time to shine yet. This motherfucker want to eat lactose. Every time you do that, your body is having to change and transform and shape shift. It can happen with something that's just as simple as a thought or an idea. That's why I tell people are shape shifting all the time, right? Somebody is hearing this, they getting chills, they're shape shifting. If you got chills from anything I said, your body started to rearrange itself. Something you say, listen to this nigga. You feel what I'm saying? You got to decide which part of it is that's telling you that, because somebody else could tell you something that's a demonic individual and still give you chills. And you start shape-shifting in a way that causes down-regulation as opposed to up-regulation, which really is activation as opposed to allowing for your genes to become passive and dormant and working in a way that just allows for you to survive only without going beyond that and being able to thrive, which it really puts people under the survival. So stay with me. The moment I decide something or choose a side of something or choose to center out to be able to see both sides of whatever it is I'm dealing with, my will is active. And that abstraction becomes defined. And the moment my DNA starts to shift, I start understanding about the 6 and the 9. I start understanding about the yin and the yang. I don't understand about the shim and the sham. If you understand what I'm explaining to you, we can get into that later, because you get shin and sham, where they get the yin and yang from. You understand? So if I have negative and positive versions of myself or negative positive parts of myself, it doesn't mean that it's bad or good. It means that this is a choice I can make. I can, like you said, left hand or right hand path. I can make either one of these choices. So my will is active. Semen retention is not about just saving fluid. They don't want to pay attention to the fact that you're deciding to do a thing. And the moment you decide to do a thing, you put your will to do a thing that requires more energy, you're getting stronger. I can decide to lay on my ass. Or I can decide to get up and say, we got a live today, and I'm up and moving around. I can decide to go get some snacks, sit down, watch TV all day and do nothing. Or I can decide to lift some weights. And you want to know what happens? It tends to show up on your physical being what you decided to do. You understand that? You could tell who took into consideration their physical stature and their physical being just based off of how they presenting. They walk in the room, you see somebody like this,
right?
This nigga been in the gym. Some of that is genetics. Some people might be in the gym and they never get a body, right? But they get out, but they don't build up. They can't do it. But some people, it just comes natural for them. They don't even be in the gym. But it all boils down to what are your decisions? Because that same person could pig out and then either they gain more weight or they lose their health over time.
Yeah, I need to get my ass in the gym. That's one thing, I definitely need to get my ass in there. But I've been working on the semen retention. I'm going on 18 months now, bro. And it's been a journey. And I got a whole presentation that I'm going to be bringing out to the people here. This is just a little sneak peek of it. It'll probably be in like the next week or two when I'm done with it all. But I heard other people the other day thinking, oh, the moon and the sun are evil. There was this one guy teaching about it and teaching how the pillars of Solomon are evil and all this. I'm like, bro, you obviously don't even know what you're talking about. That's just consciousness, subconsciousness, the masculine, so Jacob and Boaz, right? It's the solar energy, the moon energy, the subconscious, the conscious, the feminine, which is the moon, Isis, the masculine, the fire, the solar, and then it represents the two branches of Freemasonry, the Scottish Rite, which is the red, the York, which is the blue. I mean, there's nothing evil about it, but so many people are teaching the wrong stuff out here now with this stuff, bro. It's starting to really irk me. So yeah, I've been putting a presentation together about sex retention and how they've been over sexualizing us. And that's something I've been doing pretty well with 18 months, but I definitely got to work. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to eat better. I'm doing the pH water. My problem was the soda, man. I was drinking way too much soda, Faise One. And that shit puts the weight on you, bro. That and sugar, sweets and stuff like that.
A lot of what you just fast. You can do fasting.
Yeah, I definitely need to fast.
It sounds like, but it's really as simple as it sounds. Fast. Do it fast for about 3-4 days, 5 days, 7, 8, 9. Most I've done is 9 days.
Oh shit! How long? How was that? Was that rough?
It was hell. Well, actually, it wasn't really that bad. The first 9 days of it, it wasn't bad at all.
You feel like I've done 3, and man, it was bad for me because I like to eat. So, but
you have to really know what you're doing. You have to really know why you're doing it. Because sometimes I done a fast and I didn't complete it. I was like, fuck this.
But I felt great. I ain't gonna lie though. My clarity, my mental clarity was next level. When I was decoding, like I was on a whole nother level. So it does do something to our body, It definitely it's having an effect on us. I think we should do it. And that's one thing I'm very aware of my strengths and my weaknesses. And that's one I got to work on more, definitely, because I put on a lot of weight in the last couple of years, man. So, I got to work on that. But,
right.
You stay nice and in shape, man. I don't know how you do it. You work out?
Yeah, I thought I didn't have to. After a while, I had a teacher who, her name was Miss Joseph. And I didn't work out all through high school. You know what I mean? I used to eat all kind of shit, honey buns, all kind of shit. And she was like, you ain't gonna be able to do that when you get a little older. I said, shit, I'm built like this because I always was built. But then she was like, your metabolism starts to slow down, you know what I mean? Especially if you ain't doing certain things. I didn't listen to her. Around like 2021, I started to realize I was gaining a little bit. I said, hold on, this is not supposed to happen. But she was right. So I do every now and again, shit. I do some push-ups, might lift some weights. That's it. You know what I mean? But yeah, you put intention on the body. I fast. Fasting also helps. Like if you really all this people selling all the come join my weight training and and well actually weight loss program and just fast.
Yeah, right.
Just don't eat for 3, 4, 5 days. You're gonna see a difference. Then make sure you're researching what fasting does to the body because I feel like it encourages you to fast. You feel what I'm saying? When you actually know why you're doing it, that it's not just some spiritual thing that some nigga with a defy gravity hat told you to do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like actually look into. I'm annoyed with the spiritual community because
you be going hard.
They can't back up what they're saying. Go ahead.
No, you be going hard on them. I love it though because a lot of them are fake as shit.
They are, and they don't. That's why they don't want to talk to me. I said, let's go live. Let's go live. Like I really want to. You really. It's one of the, okay. Ego is one thing, right? Everybody got an ego. I have a big ego. I can say that. And I have a song called Arrogant when I was younger. I know I'm arrogant. However, we're only a problem to those who like see that as an issue. You feel what I'm saying? Because then you meet them, say, man, this Faise is a humble guy. Well, this person ain't present themselves like they own that. If you're going to present yourself like you own that, I'm going to stand up and you're going to realize how tall I am. You know what I'm explaining to you? So I want to deal with these. Everybody say they scholars of this, that, and the third, chemists and biologists, and this. I want to see what you're talking about for real, because I was that when I was in high school. I just want to see if niggas really know what they're talking about. And then when you start speaking conscious, this, and it was a nigga that said, it was Rashad Jamal, I think he said something about DEA. We got the divine etheric acid, whatever the hell he said. We don't have DNA, and we're carbon people, and da-da-da. Yo, it was embarrassing. Like, I'm glad I don't rep that team, whatever they got going on.
Bro, some of them just use big ass words. You know, some of them just use big words that don't even fucking make
carbon,
sense.
it has to be a big word for them. Because they don't know carbon is in all living beings. That got to be a big word. And it's the one element that they picked out of the whole periodic table. And they got it wrong. It's just one element. They fucked up one element. And I'm like, yo, I'm listening to people, they still saying this. Niggas develop whole communities off of it. So we're carbon nation. I'm like,
they'll tell white people they don't got melanin in them. Have you heard that one yet? That would tell white people they don't got melanin in them. And which
they do.
I know, it's so funny.
And then I say we got neuromelanin. Everybody does. You mean you melanin? Because maybe you have to know what you're talking about. Right. Which is why I make sure that I tell people, just don't conscious community me. Because whatever they got going on, I'm not a part of that. I'm not with that. I don't know what that is. I would like to be able to sit with the Brian Greens. We can have a talk back and forth. And I ain't gonna act like I'm on this. He ain't gonna act like he on that. You feel what I'm saying? And we can really talk instead of me trying to tell people that I went to college for years for this shit what they don't went and study. You have to actually know this stuff. So I took the time in my earlier years studying a lot of this stuff, and I still study. A lot of these people call themselves, they start, I'm divine insight. I'm the one this, and that is the truth is, I don't know what the prayer hands is, but they're spiritual gurus. I call them Google gurus because a lot of this I could tell you got from Google. Right. And I could tell that you got that from Google before you tried to come on live with me. You said, let me look this shit up real quick. Yeah. I'm looking at it right here. Is this you? This says this, that, and the third. You just said that? That's right there. You didn't even compare articles or nothing. You feel what I'm saying? So my point is not to be too hard on them, because I'm sure a lot of them really thought they were going somewhere.
Brother Polite. What do you think about Brother Polite? When I first started watching him, I liked him, and then I heard all these crazy things about him, and I'm like, damn, but he was a good talker at first. That's why he
Brother Polite, Brother Polite was one of them. He's one of, okay, you got a few of them that's actually intellectual to a certain degree, right? Like the young pharaohs, where a lot of people try to mimic them.
Yeah.
If it was debates, Young Pharaoh would probably fuck up a lot of these people, if not all of them. Yeah, Brother Polite was another one of them, because they were closer to the era of when Dr. Malachi was expressing out in the open. You understand? So a lot of that energy was moving around. There's a lot of brothers that came from that energy. And I was a youngin' when that was around, like 7, 8, 9 years old, even younger, right? Brother Polite is a smart individual, but what he wound up doing, he played too much in Shaitan's world. He played too much around the 6 ether forces. And I'm not going to speak too much on it, but I know firsthand, like, yeah, you some shit he shouldn't have had his hands in. Because then when you start playing too much over there, that's how they get you. You over there. Yeah. And like, I go to Bankhead and this is a real true story. I got robbed in Bankhead in 2018. Robbed and kidnapped. While I was shooting a video, I got robbed, kidnapped. The niggas who robbed and kidnapped me made me shoot the rest of the video. And they tried to get my shit back. I was like, nah, anything you took off me, you can have that. But I had to finish the video. They were threatening my home, all kind of shit. What the fuck was I doing in Bankhead on Halloween? You feel what I'm saying? I should have been out there no motherfucking way. That's how they got me, because I was out there. So a lot of the ways, a lot of people get caught up in stuff. I know what it is. You already playing over there. That's how they can get you. You ain't gonna be able to say, man, Faise One was over here, you know what I mean, in this sex house. I'm like, I can't wait to go to court. Let's go. Where is court? Right now? I can't wait to go to court, counter sue, hit your whole, I'm gonna lien your whole company, whatever. I've never been in a sex house.
Right. So,
but if I was in a sex house, you can put me there. You can place me there and say, nah, that nigga Faise One was in this sex house once. I'm like, damn, shit, I was in that sex house. I didn't do this stuff.
Right.
Fighting for my life. I've never been there. So my point is, like I say, I've never paid for sex. I never bought a woman's body. The conscious community leaders can't say that.
No, they can't.
They can't say that.
I think I gave a couple females blunts for blowjobs when I was like 16. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know if that counts.
my point is, I never did it.
I should.
So they try to hit Tommy Truthful with it. And this nigga was 16. He did this. You're gonna be like, I didn't do this stuff.
Yeah.
Place you there, especially when you just said it on live. I don't know what it is. You edit that part.
No, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, I was a kid, you know, but now that I'm older, I would never disrespect a female like that.
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't think I was either. You know, you're a young dumbass kid doing stupid shit. But no.
So what's their excuse? You were 16.
One thing about me, bro.
These niggas 61.
Right. I'm real as shit. I don't care. I've held my ID up to the computer before.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers know my address, my phone number. Pull up. You know what I'm saying? I'm really the same person on camera as I am off camera. So, but yeah, man, I get what you're saying with that. I wanted to show you this video, though. I don't know if you know who this guy is, but Larry Johnson. You ever hear of Larry Johnson?
No.
Okay, so he was an ex-football player. I guess he was really good. And I wonder, it's about like them selling their soul, because he said they were trying to drape him to get him to come to this thing, and he thought they were going to sacrifice him when he got there. And he talks about Gematria in it. He said he was using, if he didn't know about Gematria and the numerology, he would have went to it. But he you know, he was deciphering it. So I'm going to play it for you real quick. I want to hear your thoughts on this, bro.
Copy.
Big, talking about the Hunt family, knee deep in the assassination of JFK, that the NFL is gay. Have I said this in a tweet like August 2020? All of a sudden they want to award me a special presentation. Just like how Franco Harris did a special interview before he was killed. This is how they get you. You former football players, they get you to show up at interviews. They get you to show up at presentations. And if you don't understand the numerology of anything, this is how they can get you and trap you. I would have gone and wouldn't know. And they could have easily put me in a predicament. I could have been at the bar. I could have been drinking. They could have came to my hotel. Any situation that would have fit my natural foolishness, which means either been drinking or been in a fight with a woman. That would be the only thing they would catch me with, and they would tell you this is how I felt. He died from alcohol poisoning, or he died fighting. And people would have believed it. If I went to that show and y'all would have heard that I got killed, and you would have told you I died by alcohol poisoning or something like that, most of you would have believed it, because you know that's usually what I've been in trouble for. This is how they get you. It's kind of comical, because once you understand numerology and gematria and they use the same numbers over and over and over again, it becomes pattern recognition, okay? I've seen a lot of football players die, and it be because of numerology. I've seen a lot of celebrities die, and it be because of numerology. And it's always when they're by themselves, they're found dead in a hotel, or some craziness that they attach it to. And no one can know what's the real truth, because they're really that slick with it if you don't have your eyes open. So it's funny to me that these people do not like me. They do not like me around when I was there. When I was in the world, they didn't want me around. So all of a sudden, they're going to give me a presentation after me saying football been rigged, after me saying their family did everything they did, all this stuff I've been talking that smoke, and they want to invite me into an award show to give me a special award for something.
What do you think about that?
That sounds like what I was just saying. That if you ain't around, can't get you for certain shit if you ain't around certain shit.
Yeah,
fuck the industry. I'm not nowhere near that. I would never have no issues like that. But I mean, everybody got their own path.
Now he was in the NFL before, so it makes me wonder: did he sign that contract?
Yeah, you got to sign.
He had to, right?
Yeah. What are you talking? I think what might be confusing though is you said that contract. There's no one contract. There's a lot of contracts.
Right. No, I get what you're saying.
You slept with this person. All that's contracts. Yeah, listen. I guess we get into it in a second. How much time we got?
we got another 20 minutes, half hour. That's
Copy. I'm gonna say it like this, right? Because that happened to me also in a way, because I know I've been speaking out on the rappers, right? Like Lil Baby, Young Boy, all them rappers who at one point in time was like promoting drill, all of them, 21 Savage, everybody. And one of the main ones I speak about is because he was the biggest in Atlantis, which is where I'm at and where I'm from, is Lil Baby. And I remember I did a Letter to Lil Baby, the Letter to Lil Baby song. It went pretty big. It actually got more views, which is natural. It got more views on Instagram than it was at the time on YouTube. But again, 2 different algorithms. So they work different ways anyway. You actually get more views on Instagram than you will get on YouTube in a day. But it had like 500-some thousand. It was going crazy. And Said, who is his manager, I don't know if he's still his manager, but one time he was, but they close. I met him one time in the barbershop, and I was talking about doing videography for another artist that was called Noodle 05 at the time. It might have been 2018, 2019 when that happened. But Said commented under the video and was like, what'd he say? How much you want for a show? We trying to book you ASAP. Now, I know that for years, these motherfuckers have not fucked with Faise One. They don't like him. It done already been put on notice. I done got warnings from different people trying to tell me, hey, you might want to watch out for that because you in this and that and the third and this on your head and that from all these different artists. Same way, it's like, how do you go from, hey, man, we going to handle him when we see him? Because Baby be really telling on himself. Like a lot of his, he be saying in the song, he put my name in the song. What the fuck is he on? I don't know, but we got to go get him. He talking about me. He trying to diss me to blow up. I peep it. I don't respond. I just go at your people. He talking about me. Everybody who know. Like, you're not slick, Dominique. But that's why I said in the Letter, Lil Baby, I'm aware about the motion. You know what I'm saying? I know gentlemen protect their brand by any means. By any means, I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm a witness. You know what I mean? But and you see in the video, I showed Tupac sitting in the car with Suge Knight where they hit Tupac. So I understand how certain people put money on people's head, all kind of stuff. Point being,
they would have got you to go to that show, bro, and you wouldn't have made it to the show.
No, I would have made it to the show for sure.
You know what I mean? But they would have probably tried to take you out.
Bro. I would have been, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
They would have hit.
That's what I'm explaining to you. It wouldn't even make sense. But you got to see if a nigga green. You got to see if a nigga really that stupid. So they were testing the water. Let's see if he really like that. Yeah, like, what you talking about? Oh, as soon as he said that, he was like, how much you want for a show? Such and such. I said, DM me, I'm with that. To let it be known, I already know what y'all on. So how about you DM me? And that ain't literally saying message me. That's me saying, I know what you on. So he deleted his message after that. But I already screenshotted, it's already seen that it would have been a setup. If somebody like, oh man, yo, this is amazing. Look, y'all, I got an opportunity. I'm about to do this show. They're like, this nigga dumb.
Most people would have too.
Most people would have, but they testing the waters because a lot of people claim that they don't want to deal. A lot of people claim they don't want to work with the industry. They trying to stay by themselves. They don't want no records. They don't want no Grammy awards. As soon as they get offered it, they run it.
They take it.
They run into it. So they thought I was dumb. So my point is, I can relate to what he's saying, but it's like, nigga, how the fuck this go from this to that? But I wiped all that clean anyway, showed people that. As soon as they did it, I actually made a video and responded and said, y'all niggas think I'm dumb? So I know what he's talking about when he come out of nowhere. Even though I'm not a part of the industry, a lot of these people will try to set you up. And if they can't set you up through going and getting you to do stuff like he said in my natural stuff, my natural foolishness, if they can't set you up that way, they start going to barbers. They start going to sorcerers. Right? They start and somebody listening, they're like, how the fuck he know that? Well, the barbers talk. And if you go to certain people on certain people, that's our people. So they're going to say, yeah, you good. But they're going to source your whole bloodline. And you trying to figure out why shit fucking up in your life. Because you just made a contract with some other, you don't know nothing about what you're talking about. You can put them bees on all you want to. You can stand next to them niggas and take pictures all you want to. You know who I'm talking about. You didn't know what you were getting into. And they brought it right to me. Hey, what you want to do with this? Handle it how you handle it. You have access to them. They want to come and try to source us? Source them. And then they shit start fucking up. Niggas start dropping. You helped the magic that was going against the industry be expedited by trying to violate and touch the anointed.
Yep.
You understand? So, of course, go ahead.
And no, they really do use black magic on people. I tell people this all the time.
Yeah, it's cute.
You think they're just coming at you, you know, in the street? No, more than less. They're using black magic on people to attack people. You got to make
Mhm.
sure you're spiritually protected, you know,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and see, my thing is, I'm a little more hot-headed, and I'm saying like that on purpose. Shit, I hope you do. I hope you play. Because sometimes niggas like me get bored, and we want to take shit out that's causing disorder. They act like they didn't see what I did to their industry. They gonna act like it, but they remember. Some of them still nervous because everything this nigga said came to pass. I said these pillars gonna drop, drill music gonna collapse, these rappers gonna get locked up. Da 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 da. Nigga said, yo. They were like, yo, ain't no way in the hell this gonna happen. You see what I'm saying? So but it happened. All of it came to pass. So people are able to literally see that magic do work.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
But then you thinking you only got to defend yourself and protect it. No, hit them folks too. That's why I told all you witches and warlocks, all you prayer warriors, all you people who claim that you do all this magic, but all you do is commit crimes and acts against the none the wiser. You want to use your magic against the people in your community? How about this? Hit the music industry. Hex them. I'll help you.
Yeah.
If you want to hex some shit, listen. Go ahead.
No, I said I agree.
Hit the music industry, hit Hollywood. They vulnerable right now. So as soon as Queen Elizabeth fell, they were very vulnerable. A lot of people should have been hitting it because she fell twice. They tried to sow a seed that Queen Elizabeth didn't die the first time. They said, fuck it, she ain't powerful enough. And she dropped twice. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, ignore everything I said for the past 30 seconds. Hit they monarch because they weak. I'm not telling you to go and bomb nothing. I'm not telling you to go shoot up nothing. I'm telling you to go and get a pen, get your papyrus, get your nails, get your everything you know already. Get your grave dirt, get all the shit you play around with. Get your goats, get your chickens, everything y'all be playing around with to fuck up people in your community. Fuck them up. I hit the music industry proudly. I told people in front of them, all of y'all are hexed. And Hollywood has been falling ever since. I'll put their picture up, their name up, they post up. Next thing you know, they getting drugged through the media. I'll say their name on this song. Next thing you know, they got. I told Drake, I said, yo, your time up. They said, nigga, you can't say that to Drake. I said, who the fuck you think I am? Drake, excuse me. Is this mic on? Your time up. I made a whole song on it. I got a message from the streaming company. They said, you can't call it Drake. That's cheating. Too many people gonna stream it. I said, that's the fucking point. Whatever. I'll call it Dragon because that's who he is. Hit him. Then they say, oh, hey, that ain't gonna mean it. Next thing you know, Kendrick got active. Next thing you know, everything, his stomach falling apart. And now he's trying to sue because he lost. He lost the war. The dragon did not prevail. He know it, but it's not even over.
They wouldn't let you use the word name Drake in it.
They wouldn't let me name the song Drake.
That's
they
crazy.
let me do Letter to Little Baby. They let me do Letter to Sexy. They did not let me. They say, you can't, that's too far. That's cheating. You can't do that. But it goes deeper because
Drake's ass, don't they, boy?
Huh?
They love Drake.
Well, Drake is the dragon. If y'all understood how much money and resources that being actually has, you would understand why it takes somebody like me who don't give a fuck about that to go at his ass. I said, you won't get a chance to do me like you did Jase. You won't get an opportunity.
He killed him.
And now he getting factored back in on that. He ain't gonna get no rest for the wicked. You can play all this, oh, I'm a good guy, all this shit. You can copy all you want to. No, you're a dragon and you have to go down because it's written. So all I'm doing is just saying what's already written. And people think I'm just talking about Drake. They don't understand it. So when you're not in bed with these people, you can really go to war with them. I go to war with them now. When I get off of here, I'll hex them again.
Why you think he went at him?
Who?
The dude you just mentioned,
Kendrick Lamar?
No, the rapper Drake.
Jase?
Yeah.
Listen to the words. It's in the name. Jase. It's what God says, the word of God.
What was his rap name?
Jase. XXX Tentacion.
Yeah, there it is. XX Tentacion. I forgot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm from the older school,
it was
younger boys. But so didn't he say something about Drake or something?
Yeah, they had a beef going on. I think he said shit about his mom. He was on live, all kind of stuff. My point is, again, if you think I'm talking about just Drake, it'll be lost on the surface.
Drake put them warlocks on him, and
They had to go to war. The Dragon and Michael.
Right.
What was album of the year last year?
I don't know.
It was Michael.
Oh, what?
Killer Mike. On 9/11, on 9/11, I released an album called Michael last year. On October 24th, I dropped the music video for Dragon, which was a Drake song where I called him out and said it's time to go to war. Michael won. I had another music video called Source, the song that you were talking about.
Yeah, that's my shit.
I dropped that on 9/11 of last year, right? In the Source music video, at the end, you hear the singing from the movie Fallen. Time is on my side.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Remember that?
Yeah.
You always saying. And then at the part, Denzel was like, Mike, because he was trying to get the nigga attention. Mike. Kept saying Mike, Michael. On the same day I dropped the Michael album. People didn't know about my album, but Killer Mike, listen to it, did an album where he had devil horns with an angel halo over his head. And it was called Michael. Nobody even knew the nigga had that album out until they said he won. Everybody was confused.
Yeah,
but Michael won. I already said Michael wins. It's written, Revelation chapter 12. The dragon does not prevail. Drake can't win. How Drake gonna win? And Drake mean dragon.
Right.
Same way y'all be reading numerology. I have a book called How to Speak Elite, where I taught people how to read the whole realm. It should be one and the same, because the same way you're looking at these numbers up and down the screen.
Yes, sir.
The binary coding of this week. Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you.
That's what this realm is composed of.
Yep.
Matrix, they say, is a documentary. Matrix is reality. Even when you're saying Gematria, right? It's the reality of how this realm is composed and how it's going to be expressed through code. You find code even in the DNA, so you got the codon. You understand? When it comes to genes and expression and DNA and expression, you got your A, T, C, G, if you know what I'm saying, your thymine, cytosine, all of that is expressing as codons. You see the code on that. My point is, if it's readable, somebody wrote it. Somebody programmed it. You might not know who that is, the architect, but somebody wrote it and programmed it. Guess what? If it's written, if it's script, because that's what computer language will tell you, is script is what we call it in computer science. It can be rewritten. It can be rewritten. That means what is written varies. That means it's a variable. It's very able to change. You understand that? So who they thought were the big guys, the six guys, say the sex that was taking over, the six guys, they're not big no motherfucking more because I said so. It's going to be exactly what I said because I said so. If I write it this way, it's just going to be that. How confident are you in what you say and what you write? Or are you just going to go along with these people? Listen, Drake is very small to me. He bleeds. He's small. I don't see him as this guy. I see I'm up there too. Some people call that delusion. You can call it whatever you want to call it to help you cope with what's happening. But they didn't want to acknowledge that I hit their ass. Now, everything I said came to pass. Some things haven't come to pass yet that I said will come to pass. You're going to have to deal with it. When I wrote Ninth Hour and was saying all this stuff and paying attention to the blood of the lamb and everything I was wrapping up on, music is magic.
Yeah, no, it is magic. It is magic. And how I showed you that you're a first player character, you know, look, you got the NPCs and then you got these first player characters, right? The first player character, that number 64, like Phoenix Power, Planet X, the Destroyer's tied to that, all the world, the stage, that's connected to Jupiter, Zeus, Jesus. And then non-player character ties into Saturn, which non-player character 63. Saturn has the 62 moons and one planet. And that's the black cube, all the Saturn symbolism. Well, let's look at the pineal gland. They say the awakened pineal gland is represented by a pine cone, and the sleeping human represents the closed pine cone. Well, even that, the numbers line up perfectly with it. Pineal gland open, 64, matching first player character. Pineal gland sleep, 63, matching non-player character. So just like you said, it is a source code, and 100%, bro. And they show us these codes in movies like The Matrix or Dark City. You ever watch Dark City? Faise One? That one was fire, bro. Everybody I bring on here and ask about that movie, none of them ever seen it. And I'm like, bro, you guys gotta see it. It literally has the same exact scenes and same archetype.
From The Matrix.
Yep, identical, bro.
Yep. They use the same set.
It blew my mind. They got the same staircase. They got the same antagonist.
You want to know who they focused that movie on?
Who?
Dr. Malachi York.
Do you think so?
I know so. What was the character's name? The main character?
Neo.
No, I'm talking about in Dark City.
Dark City. Oh, I don't remember the main character's name.
Guy's name was Murdoch.
Oh, Murdoch. Yep, you're right. Murdoch.
Go look up Murdoch. Murdoq. That's Dr. York.
Wow.
Listen, when they took Dr. Malachi York in, he was in Murdoch.
I want to decode him. I bet he's a very powerful.
You got to know that. They were trying to frame him in the movie, if you remember.
You know, a black lady really wrote the movie The Matrix. They stole that shit from her, right?
Yeah, I know. It's Sophia Stewart. I heard about it.
Yeah, Ani interviewed her before. At least that's what she says. I don't know if it's true or not. But
I don't care if it's true. It was too much energy focused on whether or not she wrote it, as opposed to whether or not she could even explain what it is. It was too much. It was too much. And they keep using this black thing. And I listen, I wrote a book called Out of the Darkness where I talked about her. Sophia, it was one of the beings who, Sophia Stewart is her whole name.
Right.
Sophia was one of the beings who had a certain amount of wisdom in the demiurge world.
That created the Archon Yaldabaoth.
Exactly. Was casted out of grace by the one. And I remember just cross-referencing and speaking to her in person. I'm talking to her about what I was going to do in this reality. She was telling me, you don't need to be a celebrity. Just focus on, your life and da-da-da-da, and things are going to be all right. I'm like, who is this person? Anyway, but I would listen to certain things she would say, even with The Matrix 4 came out. She told people, don't watch it. She said, don't watch it. It has nothing to do with the story, da-da-da-da. Me, from seeing Matrix 4, everybody need to watch it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Everybody needs to watch it because they need to really pay attention to the fact that in that movie, they were saying, as they were working on the game, they were showing you that the game for them is the movie for us. And in that movie, the game was reality. So this movie that you're thinking is just a movie is reality. If she wrote The Matrix, which she didn't, because if you wrote The Matrix as in the script that people were watching play out into the movie, you would have wrote these players into it. You would have wrote these scenes, the cutaway. You didn't write The Matrix. You may have written something that was similar to it. Even if you did, the fact that The Matrix is already understood by majority of the inhabitants of this simulation is a plus, not a minus. Right. It becomes less of, if that's the case, I wrote damn near everything you see out here in the conscious community. What they trying to replicate, I wrote damn near all of that. And Dr. Malachi York wrote the whole conscious movement. Right. If that's the case, we'll be here all day. We put out these works that inspire more awakening. It's not ours.
Right.
You understand? However, it is important to say, hey, this came from this. If that came from that person, I understand what that read is about. But when I really looked into Sophia Stewart, I'm like, I'm not even hearing anything come from her that would show me she comprehends the Matrix and how it functions. In reality, I'm not even seeing that from her. A lot of what she was talking about was just what everybody else be saying over there in the conscious community. I'm not hearing anything that's like, yo, this is the one who wrote this shit. They should be able to tell me way more than what I can find in the movie. So yes or no? Can you watch The Matrix and wake up?
Can you?
Can you?
I mean, I think you could, but do people? I don't know.
A lot of y'all found your way to awakening through that movie.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But a lot of people too, a lot of these, there's a lot of people that probably watch it that didn't wake up too. You know what I'm saying? But yes, you definitely can. I would say I was probably one that started to wake up through that movie, to be honest with you.
Look at the background of the live right now.
Oh, dude, I love it. It's like, yeah, I'm so into the Matrix still
You
to
feel
this
me?
day. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of it.
So what went wrong? There's nothing. All right, I'll be the eyeball because I don't mind that. I feel like that's a distraction. That it manifests. Like, why is it? Oh, I'm a black lady. Why is that? Why is that even a part of the packaging? Because it falls into this pro-black. Too many of melanin dominant people are waking up, so they need distractions.
Well, black is
So now
not.
you don't want to deal with the Matrix because you say, "Oh, it was stolen from a black lady." Well, then what from that black lady did you actually get that woke you up, or was it the movie?
I don't even like using the word black. I usually don't. I say melanated because even black, like, that's all bullshit.
Yeah, but she uses it.
It's a construct. I mean, because melanated people are not really. You shouldn't call them black people, right? I mean,
Yeah,
but that's what they teach us.
Look at how it's being used. They still call her a black lady.
Yep. I mean, I just
still
did
calls
it.
herself a black lady.
I just did it. So
You feel me? And I get what you're saying. All of that makes sense to me. It's just now that we at that point where people they can literally use their own brains. We don't need this character to say that something was stolen unless they're bringing something that can clear up all of it. If let's say the Matrix was about like ponies and shit, maybe. But the Matrix is literally about what everybody is fighting to figure out.
right,
You can watch that movie 30 times and you still gonna need to watch it again
100%.
because it's explaining more. And what that means, you came up with all of the different hidden signals from the books that they were putting. You came up with the God of Dreams. You came up with all this stuff. No, that's not how that happens. So my point is not to disrespect the sister. I interviewed. It would be no different if you brought up Isis Wisdom. Be no different if you brought up Rod Hayes. Be no different if you brought up 19 Keys. Be no any of these people you're gonna bring up. It's a no for me. I already tested they ether. You know what I mean? You don't know what's the science of ether either.
19 Keys is charging an arm and a leg to interview him, boy. Let me tell you.
You want to know why?
It is crazy.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because that's what it's about.
Yeah, I ain't never paid for an interview in my life, nor am I going to start.
Yeah, so let me ask you a question. I'm not trying to be funny, and I'm literally not trying to be funny. How much you paid me to get on here?
Nothing.
Did I ask?
No.
And I won't.
No, I mean,
that doesn't mean people can't get their chips for whenever they want to get their chips. But it flow like that. I don't give a damn. You hit me up. Let's do it.
Right. I mean, and look, if you got something to promote, something like that's how. If I go on someone's show, I hope they at least let me, promote my little thing. And all these people out here that say, "Oh, you're a truth seeker. You shouldn't sell nothing, or you shouldn't have a hustle." These are just people that are morons. I don't understand that at all. First of all, I'm a capitalist, so there ain't nothing wrong with getting your money as long as you're doing it the right way. I don't ever try to scam no one or do nothing like that. Everything I do, I like to do my decodes. I got a little shop where we offer holistical healing products. That's over on truthfultv.com. Go check it out, guys. And I got a few sponsors, but this is actually what I do for a living, Faise One. I've done this for over 3 years now, and I make more money than most of these people out here. This will be the first year I break over $300,000 doing what I love to do, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need the mainstream and all that. I mean, yeah, I'm not making, and most of them ain't making what they pretend to be making anyways. They're wearing fake jewelry and some more shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And let me tell you something. I'll put on fake jewelry because of the same shit people care about. It's still dance and the light. I'll tell somebody, nigga, I paid $50 for this watch. You know what I mean? Whatever. I don't give a fuck.
I don't wear jewelry myself.
People they focusing too much on the finite, claiming that they're seeking eternity. My name, forever and inspiration, seeking eternity. Omari never ends. That's what Faise One stands for. I didn't say I had it and I understand what it is. I'm seeking it. What people care about, I just don't care about. Now, that doesn't mean that Like I sell my books, whatever. I do that, fine. Anybody knows I'll go on my live and read them too. And I'll answer questions if you got questions about it. Yeah, people know that if they buy my books, anybody who rock with me, I'll sell a book, but I also do a fundraiser where you can just support me because you can support me. I didn't get into this home because I finessed it. No, people helped me do that. I literally communicated with people and they helped me. Other than that, I sold books. Other than that, my music, streaming, that's fine. Make money. The point is, people make it about money.
Right.
When they shut down the spiritual aspect of being able to just move and do things because this is what you really care about. I care about making the connection with your viewers,
right?
And anybody who's coming, I care about that. That matters a lot more to me than whether or not you pay me $1,500 or $500 or $100. That matters a lot more to me because that's priceless. After today, people are those who were sitting here while it was moving, they're going to feel a different way than those who come back and watch it later. And they're going to go and tell about that. Say, yo, this is guy Faise One. I don't know. He's a little sharp.
Let me go.
He asks questions. He can answer it. He go into it. He can speak about this, that, and the third. And they're going to look into it more. And now they might become supporters.
Right.
Where one of them might be a multimillionaire. Not saying it's about that. But they might be like, yo, I want to invest in you. He go 30,000. But if I was so wrapped up on the money and I never got to that, without the 1,500 that would have been nothing. Here's somebody coming, dropping 30,000 on the motion. Or they become lifelong supporters where they're not just supporting me, they're actually being able to make themselves and their communities better. Who knows who these people are? Somebody's an officer, somebody's a mayor, somebody over here is a chef. They're able to actually affect their community because they took the time to hear and I took the time to say.
And you might have affected them, you know, in a positive way.
Exactly.
And or now they come and follow your platform, you know. So that's why I like going on other people's shows. Then you get some of their followers, and it's just about helping people. You know, we all do that in different ways. I got my little thing I like to do. You got yours, and I think we all bring something beautiful to the table. That's why I hate a lot of these content creators out here. They're all beefing with each other and shit. I've never seen you go at a content creator like one of us. You go at the industry. That's a different thing. You ain't going at just your normal everyday content creator. You know,
you're gonna do that for
right. You're going at these devils, man, and more people need to have the balls to do that. You know what I mean? And even like 19 Keys, which I've always liked this stuff, but now I'm starting to see who he's moving with, and I'm like, oh yeah, he did that oath. You know, he took the oath, man. Ain't no mystery, because you ain't gonna get on the platforms that you're on without. I think Young Pharaoh did too, bro. I think
all you gotta do look at the symbol 19 Keys rocking with on his forehead. That'll tell it all.
Break down the 19 Keys. You told me something about it before, and it was so fascinating, and I forgot what you told me about the 19.
Well, I got a video I did with the brother Young Elder. Shout out to the brother Young Elder. It was called 19 Keys Exposed, where a lot of people probably ran over there thinking I'm about to tell about his personal life, and I was like, I don't give a damn about that. I just wanted to show people why he's here and what his purpose is, because it's easy to read. I've never done Gematria in my life, ever. Like,
you do that.
Remember when we were talking about the cover of the thumbnail?
Yeah.
You see how we was breaking that down? Say, this light right here, da da da. That's how I do. Like, when you see that right there? That's the blue light. That's how I speak. Where I could have been sitting right here in the center, but I did this, and I let this be more centered. You know what I'm saying? Than I am, even though it might appear this way, but the center of attention really starts to flow over there to that light. But that's how I speak. So I see 19 Keys, Jabril Muhammad. It was easy to break. It was easy to uncode that, right? Or decode that. 19 keys. That's all you ever really had. 1 through 9. The reality you're dealing with. Black through white. Yin through yang, right? And you have all the spectrum in between. Roy G. Biv in between. The 7 in between. 7 steps in between 1 through 9. 19 keys. That's why he calls himself higher level. Because after you look at the 88 keyboard, it's so simple. You realize that the 19 keys, or the last 19 keys above the yin and the yang, or the 6 and the 9, 69 keys, they're the highest pitch. Easy. His name is Jabril Muhammad. Okay, Jabril was the one who came to Muhammad. Say, Iqra, read Muhammad, right? He brought him the whole the Holy Quran, or Al Quran, All right, or the recitation. It said, read this or study, go back and study the words of your sustainer. Okay, that's easy. Jibril came to Muhammad. He grew up as a Muslim. Makes sense. The 19th key is hidden in the Holy Quran. It's hidden in, literally, it's called the 74th chapter, the hidden secret. That's where you find 19. The only time you find 19 in El Quran, and it says over it is 19, or Messiah, it is over 19. Go ahead.
Messiah equals 74 in Gematria.
Oh, that would make sense. That's GD.
Interesting.
G-D, growth and development.
Ah.
You understand? It's simple enough for people to understand it. Right? So the 19 is hidden right there. 19 is a miracle number of El Quran. They talked about that years before I was born. So it's not that I necessarily cracked all of it, but I did explain why he was here and why he had those keys and was speaking about it, except he became kafir. And you know what that means, right? Because even phonetically, kafir gives you cover. And he began to cover up what the secrets actually are. He tried to, or attempted to cover up Dr. Malachi York and was still trying to use this information until I spoke out. And that's why he ended up blocking me.
Did he block you?
Yeah, they got to, because it started fucking with your ether.
Right.
Fuck with your solar ether. We do that on purpose. When I say their name because I want them to feel me. I'm not causing your name or calling your name because I want attention. I got attention when I walk outside. It happens. I called your name because I want you to feel that you're in trouble. I don't want you to think anything other than I have to be cautious now with what I say. I have to move a different way because this nigga fake. Who is this man? Who he tied with? Is he tied to you? He not on a contract with this person? Damn, he ain't with you. Damn, I can't even communicate with this person. Who is this? He ain't dead. Wow. And he keeps pointing people's attention to Dr. Malachi York. That's gonna fuck up our whole business. Because people start realizing y'all niggas ain't been on higher level. How you higher level? You 19 keys. Do you speak 19 languages? Dr. Malachi York does. You 19 keys. You're supposed to be in the conscious community. You're infiltrating them. Because as you're in this conscious community, you still walking around with the crescent and the star,
right,
of Islam on your forehead. You understand that? And that is Bela or Halal or Baphomet's emblem.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with God. Hey, if the Muslims want to contest that, I'm open to it. Please show me in El Quran the 5-pointed star and the crescent moon.
Yeah, you ain't gonna find it.
Show me. You can get in touch with me and show it to me, screenshot it, send it to me. The 5-pointed star and the crescent. That's Halal. That's Baphomet.
Well, let me ask you this.
Stars on Baphomet head and the crescent moons.
I found, so you know who Enki and Enlil and Anu is, right?
Yeah, I heard about Anunnaki.
So they say the son, I think it's the son of Enlil, maybe. His name was like Allah, which was sin, and he was a moon god. Have you ever heard of that?
You talking about Nana? Yep. Sin.
Yeah.
Ancient Mesopotamian god of darkness. Look at the word. Sin. Right? Think about it. The moon, which is what he got on his head, that come out in the day or the night?
Nighttime.
Night Templar. It's so easy to read. Night Templar. Then you ask yourself, if you higher level, how are you still Muslim? If you high level, how are you still under the Arabs or the Sabians? Because that's what they are. They used to call it Asabi Muhammad. They used to call them Asabi. Sabians are the ones who follow Muhammad. You know what I mean? So how you still, if you high level, how you still, why you ain't went past into the higher degrees? Because look at it. If I'm talking about degrees, which one do you think has more degrees, the sun or the moon?
The sun.
Simple. It's not even a trick question. You see how you got it? It's not even a trick question. But somehow they place the moon as this higher level.
Well, you know why I thought of that, brother? Because me knowing what I know about symbolism, the sun represents the Scottish Rite. They got 33 degrees. The moon represents the York. They got 13 degrees. So that's what I was thinking in my head.
See?
You added together 46.
It's just as simple as temperature.
Chromosomes.
It's just as simple as temperature, even to the 1, 2, and the 3 degrees. He's talking about burns. When you cross in the burning sand, they call it the burning sand. It wasn't burning for everybody, right? And you don't have the melanin required to protect yourself from certain what they call harmful rays of the sun or UV rays. You get burns, up to 3rd-degree burns. Look it up. So the sun did burn them and give them degrees of burning. There's a million ways you can look at it. People want to talk Freemasonry, tell them, come talk to me. They want to talk the higher degrees or the lesser degrees or the higher light or the lesser light or the greater light. Tell them, come talk to me. I walk that walk. I've been on that path. I'm on that level. So I know when somebody's playing a symbol game. So you have to ask me, why is 19 Keys Jabril Muhammad going around putting moons on people's forehead? That's the mark of the beast.
I got something for you right there. Little breakdown I was doing.
Right.
And you know,
right?
A lot of people don't know that you know, you have the 2 pillars, but then you have that 3rd pillar where Jacob's ladder goes up, the hidden sun, which is Sirius, right? Sirius, the hidden
And
sun.
what is Jacob's ladder? Well, you got your pillars, your Boaz and Jachin.
Right.
Your establishment and your foundation and your strength. You understand? What is Jacob's ladder?
Doesn't that represent the Kundalini? The spine?
There you go. And what else? DNA.
Okay. The double
DNA
heel.
is what it's called Or-Heka. When you know somebody say Eureka, it's that they found it. That's Or-Heka. Or-Heka was speaking about the caduceus. Even when you say caduceus, what is do? What number is that? Deo.
2.
And what is ka? Spirit. So you have 2 spirits or 2 different polarities that because of the current, they spiral in different directions, apparently to that being who is observing it from the higher level downward with the overstanding. So your root chakra will be going counterclockwise, right? The sacral will be going clockwise, you know what I'm saying? Or depending on which way you're looking at it. But each one appears that it's traveling in a different direction because of the way the current is flowing is the key word. Around that productor or that conductor, as they say, which is your spine.
And then they got the key right there. The key too.
Huh?
Break the key down for them. See, you taught me something new too, bro. I be learning new stuff from everybody, you know, and I know a lot. You see how on the 3rd pillar you have Jacob's ladder going up to Sirius, and then you got that key right there.
Right. So look at just the wording. What is the key?
I don't know.
K-I. What is that?
K-I.
Spirit. Or Q-I. Or C-H-I.
I always think of Janus. You know the double-faced god Janus? The god
change. Right. Or shifting. Yeah. I'm getting you somewhere. If I give you a key, are you automatically through the door?
Yeah.
No,
you got to open it, right?
You got to open it. You have to, first of all, you got to have the right key. You
got to have the right key.
And you have to be able to put the key in and turn it to such a degree that it opens. That key happens in the center. And you have to be able to unlock all of the loops or the cycles or the chakras on your way up that genetic elevation or activation ladder of Yakub. This is when you start grappling with information. That's Jacob wrestling the angel. What does angelos mean? Angelos means messenger. You with me?
But that's in the DNA still.
There you go.
Oh,
I hope you're with me, though. I want you to think I'm trying to just say stuff to sound. Listen, I walk that path. I'm on that level. Because even when you become a past master, when you master what these other people haven't passed to be able to get to master, you got to turn in that G, which that's what the G is for, so you can be able to turn in. If you draw the capital letter G, it's an arrow pointing toward the center where the key goes. And you have to turn that key, sometimes 90 degrees, sometimes 180 degrees, sometimes 270 degrees, sometimes 360 degrees, depending on your lock. You with me?
Right.
And that's how it unlocks. And what you're doing is you're attempting to, in this walk, unlock DNA. So as you travel up that ladder, something will start to be affected, which is your way of life. But you have to make sure you don't do what the ones who got into these higher positions did. You have to make sure your heart doesn't harden. Once you have a hardened heart, they say God turns away from you. Why is that? Because the moment people get to that G, say, I'm a Mason. They walk around with it on it. They got the emblem on. They got the light on their head. I'm a Mason. You know what I mean? They paying their dues. They going to the light. I'm a Mason. They know the grips in the hand. I'm a Mason. You know what I mean? But then they stuck now. They're not able to evaporate, operate like Eve. If I say Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, right? I formed man out of Adamah, the dust of the ground. That's at the bottom of this ladder you're looking at.
Yes.
I formed man out of the dust of the ground, Adamah, Atum, and raised him up and breathed into him key. I gave him a key, the spirit of life.
Life, yep.
Right? And he became, you see that glow up there?
Yep.
A living soul. All right? That's where you go from darkness into light, out of the darkness into the light, which is what the whole thing is about.
Yep.
If he
blindfolded,
if he stops at the key I gave him, and he said he loses energy, he's no longer able to evaporate, he cannot become Eve. He will no longer be able to reach Hawa or Hayu, Yahayu, and Yahayu is your higher you. You can't reach your higher you when you think because of the little information that we gave you, now you overstand. You have to have the whole bio. Listen to the word bio, okay? Meaning B-I-O, beneath formation, B, information, I, out formation, O. Bio. That's how you become a living being. You won't hear it from nobody but right here, because you have to have by you, the solar you. Ba is soul you. The soul you has to be able to be active in order for you to ascend. You know what I mean? And you want to know how you ascend? Here go the code I gave people. You have to ask until the end. It's in the word, ascend. Ask until the end. Some people stop asking halfway through and wonder why they run into somebody and say, yo, I walked into the walk of masonry at 16 years old. They say, that's not possible. I said, well, then tell me I'm not a mason. Tell me I don't have the tools. And let's sit, let's talk, or let's walk and let's talk.
Oh, you're a traveling man?
I've been traveling. I am.
Okay, I see you.
Listen, I can show you proof of that. Since I was 16 years old. There's a video called 16-Year-Old Mason Teaches Class Hidden Knowledge. That's me. You understand? So I was in class, in school, walking around with a United Nuwapian Nation of Moors flag on, and you see me with videos speaking about masonry, 9 o'clock, the Masonic emblem on my hat, all of that. I went through that. That was easy. My point of going through it. It's
funny too how you broke that down with DNA, and then you got the two branches. How the sun represents the Scottish Rite, and the moon represents the York, and that there's 13 degrees in the 33, and you add them together, it's the 46, which is DNA again. It's
chromosomes.
Our chromosome. Yeah,
you
got
go.
23 from your mama, 23 from your dad. You know what I'm saying? And
chromosome and DNA is like literally saying the same thing. You're just talking about one being coiled. Now you go look up the etymology, stay with me, of caduceus, right? And you'll find coiled, or coiled snake as they call it, right? You can go fact check me on that. All of it has, go ahead.
I believe you, brother. I believe you.
I don't want you to. I want you to fact check. So that's my point. I hear you though. It's all about DNA. It's all about how you're expressing. So even masonry is that. Even masonry is about genetics, what type of time you're on, gene, race, kind, or type, ticks, time. What type of timing are you on? You understand? So if I say, I'm going to give you a DNA activation. In that word DNA, you hear a word deen, which is dealing with the activation point, like the climax. You may not have heard it, but there was a noise in the womb when light went into the egg, right? You may not know the sound for yourself, but there's a om, which is a chaotic sound or a cause sound. You say the word chaos, you're still saying cause. And if you say cause, ka-use, ka is spirit, use.
Light creates life.
All right, how are you going to use that ka? How are you going to use the spirit? K-use, cause and effect. What will your cause affect? What will your cause have an effect on? You with me? So if I give you a DNA activation, right there in the word deen, you have sound. Because that's what deen means, a loud noise. Go look it up, D-Y-N. DNA, Dina, Deen. If I say Dina Islam, what is Dina Islam, Tommy?
I don't know, enlighten me.
Right. Okay. Deen is saying a way of life. Okay. So if I give you a deen, this is how you're supposed to honor. This is your way of life. That's what DNA is. Because the way will be your blueprint. If I write something out and give it to you, that's the way. That's the blueprint. DNA is the blueprint of bio or organism, living beings. So DNA literally means way of life. So if I give you deen, I'm giving you a way of life. You with me?
Wow.
All right. That's if you will. Literally, if you will. If I say if you will, it has to be on your own will. You do not become a Mason because somebody coerced you. Well, you don't realize you're a Mason because everybody's a Mason. You don't realize you're a traveler because somebody coerced you to do so. You do that of your own accord.
And they're not all evil. I try to tell people that all the time. You have different factions, you know, the white, the black, the dark, the light. My boy, Paranoid American, he's a Mason. He got so much shit for it because he wore his little hat on there. Mm-hmm. But I try to tell people not all of them are playing for darkness. That's what you don't get. But you know, that's really hard to explain to the truth-seeking community because they've been programmed for
the thing like all Masons wear the same jersey,
right?
Then they're not truth seekers.
They think they're all on the same team,
and they're not truth seekers. It's just that simple. It's like all Christians ain't the same. All Muslims ain't the same. You got different sects of that. They're not truth seekers. You don't have to worry about that. I don't care about Masonry. I did it. It was something that I did. I think it's important. We express it a certain way for a certain reason. That's not my jersey. Right. I got it in the closet. I got the badge. I got the passport. That ain't some shit I just walk around showing everybody. You like Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King is a Mason. People don't know that. Only the brothers know. Only the brothers know that's a Mason. And some of the brothers came out and said, like Ed, he was like, yo, this is more of a Mason than anybody. They put it on record right then. When he was made a Mason by sight, as they call it, which I talk about this in my books also. They put it on record. But you got Masons right here. Martin Luther King wasn't a Mason. It was his dad. It was his grandfather. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Some people just want to be a part of something. You got Boy Scout Masons and you got workers with bricks, workers with their hands, people who gonna go out and do the work. What the fuck did you become a Mason for? To hang it up in your living room or put it on your license plate? You understand that? So you're gonna carry yourself like that, be like that. You're gonna walk upright, walk upright. That's what it's about. You're gonna be a better man, be a better man. But you ain't just becoming no Mason, just flash hand symbols. You know what I mean? That was stolen anyway. So the point is,
yeah,
I'm telling you.
Most of the secret hand symbols and all this shit they share, people don't know a lot of that was stolen. You know, they'll recycle stuff that's used in Freemasonry that really has nothing to do with it, or they'll demonize something that's sacred.
Yep.
And then invert it, because this whole reality is all about inversion, right?
Mm-hmm.
They love to take something sacred and holy and then attach a totally different meaning to it.
Yeah.
They do it all the time.
Yeah, it's perversion. It keeps people in confusion. So what I would say with all this we talking about, it still centers all around like we were talking about blood contracts, DNA. Even in blood, when you look at blood, there's 1/1,000,000th of a gram of DNA in blood, but they still can extract it. If I want to get some of you to have for myself to study or utilize or create another version of you, a drop of blood will do it. A piece of hair will do it. A cardiac stem cell will do it. It doesn't take that much because DNA is in all of you. You're looking at cell work, what's inside of the cell. You understand? So if I want to take a drop of blood, let's say somebody's supposed to sign this contract, or they take your fingers, they prick, right? And you put your finger on the contract, you just left your DNA, literally. I don't think nobody's confused about that. I hope nobody is. You left your DNA on they can do so much with you now. Because if you study in science, they've observed that, I think they took the swab of somebody's saliva, and they observed that the saliva was responding to, the DNA in the saliva was responding to what the person was going through on the other side of the planet. Because that DNA is still connected to you or connected to you. That's where you get into quantum genetics.
That's quantum entanglement.
There you go.
Yeah. That's quantum entanglement, what you just described there. And they're using that now with the nanotechnology, bro, in people's DNA. that's getting into a whole another thing where they're creating these quantum realities, and people don't understand. I mean, these people are literally engineering a synthetic version of our soul. Have you ever looked into Agenda 2045, that immortality technology?
Oh, they changing it now?
Yeah,
they got 2045, not 2030.
Well, 2030, that gets into Ray Kurzweil. They got this thing that they wrote up. It's after 2030. So it goes from 2030 to 2045. And by then, they plan on us being some type of like a hologram that lives forever in this other reality. You got to check it out, bro. They just wrote there's many peer-reviewed research papers on it. Like, these people are really trying to achieve this shit.
Right.
They're
going to do it.
They're using us as the guinea pigs.
Yeah. That's my thing. Good people have to do good things for good things to happen. If people just sit back and just talk, they're going to do that shit. It's going to be done.
It's going to be done, brother. Unfortunately, I'm not with that. They ain't never going to trick me into uploading my consciousness, because I believe in the soul, and I don't think you can upload your soul like that.
You can.
You think you can?
You watch the movie Infinite?
Infinite.
You should watch that.
Is Infinite the one with who's in it? Who's in Infinite?
Is it Mark?
Matthew Damon?
Wahlberg, something like that?
Matt Damon?
I think it's Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, I think I watched it.
If I'm not mistaken.
It's the one with the infinity sign on the front. It is Mark Wahlberg.
They're able to reincarnate.
Yes. I watched it. Yep.
Yeah, you should watch that, because they was able to trap their consciousness or trap their soul.
Oh, yeah, you in that chip.
I mean, if a computer can calculate itself into sentience, please don't think that these people can't do something.
Damn, that'd be crazy.
They can do whatever they have the information to do.
Like that.
A soul, you saw the movie Replica?
Yeah.
I talk about this for those who are watching in my book, Is the Computer God, right? Because a lot of people ask me, and they had talks with me on Clubhouse, all that, can the soul be replicated? Can the conscious be replicated? Yes, it can. So long as you understand how the neural correlates of consciousness work, and you can read on the programming, you understand that consciousness is just an epiphenomenon of the brain, that what you call in consciousness, because without the brain, you wouldn't be able to have this talk or be able to understand that I'm talking. As long as you know how that works, please. If they haven't already done it, they're planning on telling you starting next year that it's a possible outcome of being able to replicate the soul itself. How do you think they're able to teach the computer how to calculate itself into sentience? They have to know what that number will yield first, even superpositionally, because you got your zeros and your ones. That's its own thing with its bits or binary digits. Then you got your zeros and ones that operate the same way at the same time. You know what I mean? In different directions, but the same thing. It's got its own qubits.
I never thought that'd be possible to be able to capture the soul. That's interesting to think about, though. That's
people didn't think it'd be possible.
What kind of honey you over there hitting up? Because I do tablespoons every day of the Manukan honey, and this honey from Nepal, it's called Mad Honey. It's $124 a bottle, bro, but it's got slight psychoactive. It's kind of like microdosing on some mushrooms mixed with a blunt, but it comes from Nepal. And there's some psychoactive pollen that the bees are using. It's really good, though, the Mad Honey. I mean, it's not nothing that's going to get you blasted, but it gives you a slight body feeling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason you're doing the honey, though?
My voice.
Oh, okay.
Because I use it a lot.
It's very good for you, though, in many different ways. Especially, the one problem now is people are using synthetic honeys and fake honeys. There's a bunch of fake honey out here. Got to make sure you're getting that real honey, But yeah, brother, we're coming up to 2 hours and 30 minutes. I got another show with Donut coming up. He's doing a 24-hour broadcast all day today. So I got to go over there and jump on that with him. But I really appreciate you coming on and And we definitely got to do this again. Make sure everybody, all my boys' links are down below in the description. And guys, go check out his books, man. You can't beat the deal. He said he don't care what you donate. You donate something, you're still getting the PDFs. You know,
Right.
just make sure you put your email in where it says note, right, brother?
Yep, where it says 4.
4. Yep. So put your email there and he'll send you the PDFs. He's got some really knowledgeable stuff in there. All of his social media stuff's down below. And yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on today, brother. It's been a really,
thank you for having me on, man. This has been a blessing.
really good episode. So I got a outro that I'll play. So I'll play that. And you know, if you got to go, you can go ahead and do your thing, brother. And make sure you stay in touch with me, man.
I will.
Thank
you, Tommy. Hey, thank y'all. Peace and love. Peace in the land. It's truly wonderful.
Thank you, brother.
Yo, we living in a sim, reality's a game. NPCs around us, they all look the same. Soulless entities controlled by AI. Quantum computer running life, asking why. Are you just a player, controlled by machine? Or a first player character, living the dream? Tap into the code, break free from the lies. Decode your gematria, see through their disguise. In the simulation, what's your role, what's your fate? Are you real or controlled, can you navigate? Elites use gematria, secrets in the code. Find out your archetype, let the truth unfold. Super quantum computer, pulling all the strings. NPCs moving like puppets on a swing. The Matrix got nothing on the life we lead. Green letters falling is the truth we need. Are you just a player, controlled by machine? Or a first player character, living the dream? Tap into the code, break free from the lies. Decode your gematria, see through their disguise. In the simulation, what's your role, what's your fate? Are you real or controlled, can you navigate? Elites use gematria, secrets in the code. Find out your archetype, let the truth unfold. Archetypes defined from NPCs to Neo. First players rise, let your true self show. Do the